Hey, everybody, and welcome to B-Week at giantbomb.com. I am your host, buzzing with excitement. I'm ready to pod the hive. I'm ready to protect the queen. I'm dripping in honey. Welcome to the Giant Bombcast, episode 855. I'm your host, Jan Ochoa, powered by NZXT and the power of sweet organic honey. We've raised these bees next to a mint bush, so there's a hint of mint. Co-captain buzzing around, the worker bee of this website himself, Jeff Grubb.
I've activated B mode. I am motorboating those thoraxes. I'm getting in it and ready to party with you today on B Week.
Our own thorax in the little square himself, because I forgot he was going to be here, Mike Minotti.
Here. What am I just talking? I'm a bug the whole time. I guess is my thing now.
Yeah. Woo!
Maybe
Here we go. Do a whole podcast like this. Man, I'm a bug.
My people love it.
Yeah,
Maybe
very, very,
Bob
very
Dylan.
bottom.
What if people
How
love
does it
that voice
feel?
way more than your normal voice, and you felt compelled to talk that way all the time for the rest of your life?
Yeah, I was, that would be no good.
And it wouldn't be, we couldn't celebrate B-Week properly without inviting our dear friends from VGBs onto the podcast, the best video game website with bees in the name. Our dear friend
That's
first,
fucking right.
John Warren.
Hi.
How's it going?
Thanks for
pal?
having me.
Of course.
I'm great. I've been stung by so many bees. I'm so powerful.
And our own,
I'm
and
so powerful.
our own VGB's own Nikki Grayson.
Oh, there it is. Chug the honey.
No,
honey, chug.
No.
Honey, chug.
No.
Honey, it's good for the throat.
Nikki, no, stop it.
Everyone is freaking out about this, and I am fully approving it. Why is everyone against the honey guzzle?
Oh, how did that
Mike,
work out, Nikki? How did that work out?
Seeing someone eat honey is upsetting?
I didn't. If you had asked me, Jeff, if I thought that would be upsetting, I would say no.
Oh, so we're discovering this alongside you. Okay.
This is a brand new thing. I don't know if it's safe to open my eyes.
It's over.
I can't stress this enough. I can't stress this enough. Don't do that to your young child.
Oh no, they'll die.
Yeah, don't do that.
They love honey.
Like raw honey. I know it's like there's supposed to be something dangerous about it, but like, is there like actually like a thing where my kid's gonna die if they start chugging honey?
If they're babies, their throat can't handle.
Right, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Skill issue.
Yeah.
They won't be able to breathe because of all the honey.
Okay, now folks in chat are saying that drinking honey can literally kill you. The honey can. So why didn't anyone stop me? So I got up. You all watched me get up. And then none of you said, well, the only thing they could possibly be doing is going to go get an industrial sized thing of honey.
Yeah, the Costco.
From Costco.
The Costco.
Right.
And then you watched me present it to the camera. And then did I hear anybody say, no,
I got
Nikki,
scared and had to close my eyes. Remember, I'm exempt.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
I didn't see the crime happen, therefore I wasn't present for it.
Merlin says the amount you did was fine. I think... so it's like, if you just drank so much it covered your entire face? Like, what are we talking about here? Why is it dangerous for adults?
Winnie the Pooh never died.
Yeah,
He
Winnie
ate
the
so
Pooh
much
is
honey.
Winnie the
still in charge of
Pooh.
China last time we checked, I think. So
And there goes our audience over there in our outreach.
Wow. So fast.
It's Mike.
My
That's Mike
bad.
Minotti's job to make any.
You're right.
That's not my bit. That's Jeff's bit now.
Happy B Week, everyone. I was half thinking we should hype up B Week for 2 to 3 weeks and not do anything B related, but just keep saying B Week.
That's really funny. We should keep that in the chamber.
Yeah. Well, maybe we'll do that for Infrastructure Week or
No, we are
the
doing
thing about
infrastructure.
that's the thing about Infrastructure Week is that it's too good of an idea. John, was I trying to pitch Infrastructure Week at Fanbyte? Yeah.
No,
So, like, I've been
yes, you
trying to
were.
get this idea over for years.
Mhm.
I'm so
100%.
excited. I want to build stuff real bad.
You know, John, I'm happy that I have you here now because I saw a tweet by Nikki Grayson.
Oh,
good tweeter.
okay.
And you know that you had to exercise your fiduciary
I did.
Get his ass,
duties.
man. Get his ass.
No. Here's the thing. I'm on both sides here. I'm sorry.
Wow.
that you
Whoa.
couldn't allow Funke and Nikki to do the milk crate challenge.
That famously people were filming themselves getting hurt badly doing.
As someone that doesn't offer Nikki health insurance, I'm going to say, Nikki, maybe we can.
Yeah.
Let's go.
We should do the milk crate challenge.
Next GB at night, watch out for Nikki and I breaking our whole bodies.
John saying no, you can't do the milk crate challenge was a bummer, but then I did still after that text message. Okay, so here's the beat by beat. The milk crate challenge was happening, right? And I was like, oh shit, we should do it. And Funky was like, oh yeah, absolutely, we should do it. So then I was like, how hard can it be to get a milk crate? And I started looking up how to get milk crates. And then we started talking about it in stand-up or something. And then John was like, I don't think y'all should do this. And we were like, I think we could do it. And then later that day or the next morning or something, because I think we talked about it more, and then John sent the message. And then right after he sent the message, I was pissed. I was like, this guy hates fun. And then I set a reminder with that screenshot for 3 years from that calendar date. That's what that tweet was. And then, but then after that, I still was like, well, we'll just do it and I won't tell him. But I couldn't figure out how to get that many milk crates. I didn't know where to get them.
Which is the funniest part. I mean, that's the funniest part, is that y'all gave up because you realized you couldn't figure out where milk crates are.
I had no idea. I didn't know.
There's just a bunch of them in the back of Kroger. You could just take them. No one
I'll just
notice.
do that.
That feels like a very Nikki problem to have.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Stop it because I can't figure out the core crux of the idea. Absolutely,
No. Specifically milk crates.
Oh yeah.
And also just like looping people into ideas where you're like, wait, Funke was on board. Funke is one of the most like one of the smartest, safest people. Just such a gem in the world, and Nikki just corrupted them immediately.
I was like, hey, milk crate challenge, and they were like, absolutely.
So what I'm hearing is the Game Awards this year, we're bringing milk crates back.
Do you think we can get Keeley to do the milk crate challenge with us?
Absolutely not, but I think he'd like politely stand and be like, oh,
I think if I got an AI to make Kojima do the milk crate challenge, and I showed it to him, I think instantly he would do it.
No. Here's what we do. Jeff Backlar has a 3D printer, correct?
Yes, he was very excited about it that one time.
He has multiple 3D printers.
How hard would it be to make a Mission Impossible style mask of Hideo Kojima's face,
right?
That we throw on a svelte human being that matches the physicality of Hideo Kojima?
And I'll do it.
Yeah. Fuck you, Mike.
Mike, do you want to do the milk crate challenge? I think you'd be the first person to say no.
What? I don't even know if I know what that is.
What do you think the milk crate challenge is?
Yeah, what do you think?
I gotta like stack a couple of them and stand on it.
Yeah,
almost.
It's all like that. You basically arrange them in a pyramid. And it's steps, and you run up them and then down.
I'll get hurt. I'll die.
Yeah, every single person that did it did get hurt pretty bad.
Oh, that's not good. At least milk's not involved. I was worried you were going to tell me I was going to drink some or whatever.
No milk involved, just the remnants of it, the spirit of the milk.
Yeah, I guess I just wanted to disguise myself as Hideo.
Well, we can still do that.
Yeah, we'll do that anyhow.
Yeah, that would be really great for my like the current bit.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, let's not do that actually.
Oh boy. Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't think B Week would turn into this, but here we are.
Well, real quick, what do you guys think the strategy is for the milk crate challenge? Is it just commit? Just don't even think and go.
I think you have to.
Like,
I don't actually think it's possible. Very crucial is that I don't think the core idea is so deeply flawed that I don't think you can do it.
Right. I think part of the problem is everyone believes they need a running start to go do it, but that throws off everything to begin with.
Yes.
Right.
Like I'm trying to think of how would Simone Biles do this, and I think that about every situation I'm in.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I
think you have to skip steps. You have to jump from the ground to halfway up, and then over the peak, and then you have to like ghost step it basically on your way down to get to the bottom. If you're trying to run up the whole thing, it's game over.
Okay, so like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, it just kind of be on a wire, but not really.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Folks, gents, how's everyone doing? How are things? John, you bought minerals, or someone is trying to take away your minerals?
Yeah. Every day I try to protect my minerals, and every day someone tries to get them. I bought a house. I'm in it now, thus the bad internet connection. And I got the ceiling is weird, and I've got pink carpet. So
you got everything.
Can you show us the carpet? Show us the carpet.
Okay, sure. I'm living out of boxes right now.
Hell yeah.
And I'm in hell.
Sure.
But for 2 hours, I'm with y'all. So that's better.
Awesome.
I think.
I'm glad that we could reach our hand down to scoop you out, and then we'll toss you back in.
Oh yeah, we're gonna throw you back down and deal with your minerals. What kind of minerals?
That's fine. So the city of Arlington did a fracking project back in 2008.
Oh, did they?
Oh,
yes. And so those mineral rights were for the fracking under our houses, but they stopped doing it like 12 years ago. So it was all like expired anyway, but the people selling us the house were like, we really want them. And we were like, I don't even know what that means. No, we're gonna take them. And so now we own the right to frack under our house.
That's huge.
John, I always knew that was the next step for you.
When I go sell this house to RuPaul will pay top dollar for it. It'll be great.
How big can you get an at-home? Does Jeff Bezos sell an at-home fracking rig that you can install?
Almost certainly.
You can probably get it from AliExpress, but yeah.
Yeah. Temu.
I almost bought a deli slicer yesterday because I thought that'd be a good idea just to have at home.
Those things are huge, Jan. Where are you going to put it?
Well,
on the counter.
That's like the problem afterwards. Like,
sorry, you said Temu, so I got to put on my Temu.
Oh
glasses.
Yeah, that lets you see where the minerals are.
Yes.
The ground.
Yeah. Over 9,000 minerals.
Hold on, I need to put on my gamer glasses while we're here.
Sorry.
While we're doing props.
Fracking on Amazon.
Okay.
Lichtenberg machine kit.
You guys generally understand why fracking was a big deal?
No, absolutely not.
So for a long time, they're like, we got to put this like toxic chemical solution into the ground to make the oil come up. And then what they discovered was we can just use water and it's way better.
No way.
That's what fracking is.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure I'm missing like a million parts of that story.
No. Jeff Grubb, are you basically telling me fracking is using a water pick for the ground?
Yes. Yeah, it's basically using a water pick for the ground.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wait, doesn't it cause earthquakes also?
Yeah, because they're able to go deeper than they ever were before. It's way more. Yes, so it like makes the ground less stable, and especially in places that have not had a lot of drilling before.
The city of Arlington was literally like, "Oh, we can't build AT&T Stadium on a place with earthquakes." So they stopped.
They stopped. That's awesome.
Yep.
Cool country.
It's also like it's made us like energy independent, so you give and take. You know, right? Yeah, little earthquake here and there. It's fun. That's one of the good natural disasters, right? Earthquakes.
Oh yeah. Listen, I love those fuckers. There's nothing better to me than when the ground starts shaking. It feels like someone fell over into my house. I love that stuff.
You know what else I love are these fun Gunner Optics glasses.
Those
that
are
I got.
Gunners?
Oh my God! It's Ollie G.
I said yes to these because they were Tokidoki branded, and here's my claim, folks. Tokidoki is coming back with the heat. They dominated 2005. It's gonna come back really, really hot. Now I can't see squat, but we're gonna keep potting.
Jan, these are, and I love you very much, the diametric opposite of the shape for glasses frames for your face. These are off.
To be fair, he looks kind of like a bee.
Absolutely. But if I saw you in public, I think I might be like, you should try different frames.
If you're saying if you didn't know Jan,
Yes,
even
if I did not know Jan, I think I would be like, hey.
Okay, hold on. I got one more frame.
Because the rest of the aesthetic is right. It's the glasses that are deeply incorrect.
All right,
Oh
here
my
we go.
god. Okay.
Yeah, you can see now.
No. Okay,
No.
these
Those
are
are better.
Okay. Yeah.
Do you feel like headshottier? What
Yeah.
do these glasses make you feel?
I feel like I'm in the zone more. It's like a pleasant yellow hue to things. I like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Mike, do you wear glasses?
Yes, I take them off when doing podcasts sometimes because of the glare.
Yeah, you could see the porn on his screen.
Right, exactly. We can't have that. I can see okay without them. I never wear any special. Like I wear my prescription glasses. I have never worn sunglasses or anything else like that.
Say your thing.
Never?
Say that people are weak if they wear sunglasses.
Worn sunglasses.
No, I hate sunglasses. I've never had a problem with the sun.
He doesn't just like not wear sunglasses. He thinks people who wear sunglasses are weak and worse
I
than
kind
him.
of don't get it. I'm like, it's fine. Just like look away from the sun for a little bit. Like it's not that bright.
Mike, I learned over the weekend that Bailey could go blind if she doesn't wear sunglasses.
Oh, she's got weak eyes.
I love it. It's
All right, Mike and I, Dan, Bailey, and Tam, Lucy, we went to Gamescom, Germany. Yay!
that Bombcast last week was very good, boys.
It was
that
a great Bombcast.
Thank you.
Strong
thank you.
listen. I enjoyed everything you guys put out. Really, really good work. Did you all feel busy? Did you feel like, man, we're getting a lot out
Busy
of
as a
Gamescom?
bee.
Oh, there
Oh,
it is.
nice.
Okay.
Hell yeah,
we
brother.
did it, folks.
But I mean, how was Gamescom as a show for you guys, covering it as like video game boys?
Oh, sure. Yeah, it was very good. The first day was great because it wasn't like all of general attendance, so it was still busy, but everything was running like normally. The other days where like a bunch more people were there, some of those big halls, like the one that had Monster Hunter and the one with the Xbox booth, it was, you kind of just didn't want to be there.
Right.
But, luckily there were these specific business halls where you could still do a lot of your appointments. It wasn't like you went over to their booth for that kind of stuff. I mean, just the scale of it really is crazy, right? Everyone talks about how big it was. But, yeah, I remember there was one point where we told Dan to meet us at Hall 11. He's like, there's a Hall 11. And, like, each hall has multiple floors. Yeah, it was just absolutely huge. But a lot of great stuff to see. Almost everyone I was talking to, I'm like, yeah, this is my first Gamescom too. It seems like there's a lot of people checking this out now for some pretty obvious reasons. I kind of expect it to maybe continue to grow in importance for the industry. Yeah,
I agree with Mikey. I think I don't know if it was because it was a lot of other people's first Gamescom that it felt like there was kind of like an excitement,
sure,
and like just positive feelings in general, despite the state of our industry. But like everyone seemed super happy and just super genuinely excited to be there, no matter what part of the industry they were in. It did get super duper hectic though, as soon as the public were allowed in.
You're saying that you think you're better than like the populace of Germany?
No. But we're just saying things would be better.
No. I'm
them.
saying this. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Like I'm saying this.
I'm glad that we covered both sides of the spectrum.
Yeah.
Wait, is it just the stench? You guys can't stand the smell of humans, or
just like being like gridlocked with other people?
Yeah.
Like,
okay. Actually, that's real. That's very real.
Mike, the stench was a problem too. But yeah.
Mike was maybe okay. Yeah, I didn't want to go there. Mike was maybe 2 halls away from where we were all supposed to meet up, and it took you like maybe half an hour, Mike, to get through.
Yeah, I kept like at one point like I got redirected and like they put me through a loop, and I was just like, I am so sorry. I'm trying so hard to get where you are. It's very difficult.
So you did like a shoot circle and ended up back where you began.
Not like a full circle, but like a half circle. I was definitely at one point at one hall I had been in before. Yeah.
Oh man. Okay.
Yeah. And I think Gamescom strikes at like a nice balance in between E3 and Summer Game Fest for me, because like I like Summer Game Fest and how it feels like a college campus hanging out with friends.
Mm-hmm.
But then like the demo
pretty
aspect,
low key though.
Yeah, pretty low key. But like the demo aspect can kind of be challenging sometimes because like you're mostly on the same show floor with everyone else, and the timing for your appointments is pretty quick because they got to shuffle everyone in and out. There's a couple off-site stuff which is different. But then I remember the handful of E3 appointments I had being feeling too official, kinda, and being like all right, I've had to go down to Corpo. It wouldn't fit in with Infrastructure Week at all.
Of course.
But then I think like, maybe all the demos that I particularly was a point of was like, all right, cool. This is the developer is super excited. The PR person is super excited. And I don't have to go down 12 different hallways to see like 10 minutes of a game. I'm just here, and here we are now. Also, I may be admitting to crimes here, but I may have snuck into some booths that I didn't have an appointment for.
Because you played their video games?
No, I drank their coffee.
That's worse. In Europe, if you steal someone's coffee, that's like sleeping with their wife.
Well, I was an adulterer then. Because I noticed as I was walking by, I'm like, holy shit, that's a Slayer machine.
What? Slayer?
Oh, wow.
Y'all know me. I'm a stupid
Slayer.
coffee perv. And then like one specific publisher had a Slayer espresso machine, and I'm like, hot dog, I gotta get a shot over there.
I'm losing my mind at the idea of having a nice coffee maker in a booth at a games event.
That's just
like,
Europe,
what do you
baby.
mean? Yeah, I guess they do it different over there.
Yeah.
Like if I walked in and Microsoft was like, hey, here's a fucking Keurig K-cup, and they threw it at me.
Yeah,
I would be amped.
That's what I
about
expect.
It.
Yes,
like that's what I'd be like. Oh, sick! They had free coffee, and I'd
right.
come back
They stole this from their hotel room and brought it down here. Yes.
Yep.
Well, it's so funny because I'm used to like a SGF or an E3 where people are throwing out G Fuel everywhere, but here's this lovely European man asking if I want a double or a single espresso. I'm like, sir, 3, please.
Turbo espresso is the right amount.
Yeah.
That's what you go for. Yeah.
But yeah, I want all of us to go to Gamescom.
I think it's a good idea. It's so you all coming back saying it seemed a good use of your time. You had a great time. You enjoyed Germany. You enjoyed Gamescom. Everyone was like all the games you saw seemed worthwhile. Yeah. I want to go next time.
I also think Cologne is it felt like a pretty good city for it. Infrastructure wise, good for Infrastructure Week. Good train. We were able to take the metro straight to there, and that was like less than a 10-minute ride.
Yeah.
I know we had some other fandom folk out there from our sales team that were further out in the city, but they were able to just take a train in, no prob. Also, I love trains, y'all. I love public transportation.
Trains are cool.
Yeah. Also, the Kolsch was great. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's like all they drink there is great. Like, it's so funny. Like, just from like travel wise, the expectations had like, there's gonna be like all these different kind of beers. They're gonna be room temperature apparently, and like, no, pretty much everyone there just drinks these like really these nice cold Kolsches that all come in these very tiny glasses, and they just keep bringing you more until you put your coaster on top of it like a lid. It's great.
I gotta say, I think when you all described that, I think it was Bailey that first started talking about that. Ever since then, I've been thinking like, that is how I want to be drinking beer. Like if I were to, I got the wet bar over there, and if I were to install a keg, I think it would be, German style, small glasses, keep it cold. And so you just drink it, and by the time you get that last sip, it's still cold. That sounds fantastic.
And it's a pretty light beer. It's a refreshing beer. It's pretty hard to like be like, I'm getting like tanked on this.
Right,
like,
exactly.
it's just nice and relaxing.
I did get judged the 2 times they asked who wants to take shots, but that happens every time I go somewhere.
You gotta get
they do shots out there?
It took a while to find a place that did shots. And then even then they like gave me a look of like, are you sure you want to do this here?
Yeah.
That's nuts.
And I'm like, yes, I do.
But my understanding is like every like places like Germany, England, they drink a lot, but their beer isn't exactly like high alcohol by volume.
It's just water because the water is so bad out.
Yeah, that is their water, isn't it? Yeah, if they drink the water, they'll die, so they got to drink this instead.
It's like honey.
Yeah,
it's just like honey. Yeah,
their throats can't handle it. Yeah.
Isn't it nuts that for a long time in human society, it was better and safer for people to drink beer than it was to drink water?
Yeah,
that's
nuts to me. Because like the alcohol was cleaner than anything else you were drinking.
Yeah.
So
because that's distilled and treated and on it's heated and all that.
Yeah, we really had no idea what we were doing for a really long time.
We still don't, really.
We still don't. Yeah.
Speaking about Gamescom, Mikey and I.
That's the song for games.
Mikey and I played a couple games that were available to see at Gamescom. Mike, you checked out Avowed.
did. I got to have an appointment where I played about 40 minutes of Avowed. It was interesting because Jeff, I think you were talking about like what your understanding of reactions was from over there on the show floor. I got a bit. I was hearing. I think I was hearing more positive. Maybe not.
Good.
Not everybody got to play this. I think more people had a kind of a presentation sort of thing. But I was into it. It was pretty much everything I wanted, which I think I've been pretty vocal about. It's like, yeah, give me a new Skyrim. We haven't had one of those in a really long time. And that's very much what this felt like. I was basically doing kind of one cave quest, right? There's a lot of cave quests in an Elder Scrolls kind of thing. Nice thing here, though, the cave, so pretty. Way prettier than any cave we get in Skyrim. Like, so many colors. Skeletons. Nikki, lots of skeletons.
Yeah.
Great, awesome. Fought so many skeletons, like skeleton warriors, skeleton mages, skeleton archers, lots and lots and lots of skeletons. There were kind of like 3 character types we could play as. The first one I did is a bit more of a roguish thing. And this is fun because this is something that's different, is that they have like dual pistols, right? Or a bow and arrow. So if they're far away, I have guns. And it's like, they're like flintlock, like, like you shoot one and then it has to reload, but then you shoot the other one. So it's kind of like a slow but powerful mid-range or close range thing. There's no ammo to worry about either, so it's not like, I gotta like go and loot this bullets and these arrows over here. It's like, no, these are just weapons. Just go pew pew pew. Pretty typical like Elder Scrolls style quest structure kind of thing. Like I walked in there, I found one guy, talked to him, like, oh, like am I gonna give this guy a health potion to heal him? Who knows? Then there was a wacky dude building a statue for a god. I'm like, well, what's up with this god statue? And my companion's like, oh, I think this is bad, the god statue. I'm like, yeah, probably. The companion was neat. We've had companions in Elder Scrolls game before, but and in Fallout, they never really did a whole lot. In fact, I often liked taking the perks. I was like, you're stronger without companions, because I kind of felt they got in the way. Here, like I had cooldown abilities for the companion. So like I like push a button and the companion would show up and like shoot somebody or something like that. So it felt a bit more interesting than this. Here's a guy who's gonna, sort of whack at people or maybe get in the way of my shots and so forth. But gosh,
it's not open world. It's like open region. There's
open
like
zone.
Multiple open zone.
It's Sonic Frontiers like.
I'm not sure because again, I was just in this cave. Incredible. Yeah, I was just in this cave, pretty much. So basically, like I was getting a big taste of was kind of the combat and again, it's kind of the aesthetic and the vibe of things. I will say, when I beat the demo, I went back in it as sort of more of a magic user, and I didn't really like that as much, just because it felt like, all right, it's like I have these 2 tomes and like these 10 different spells, and I have to drink mana potions to not be as strong as when I was just kind of walking around shooting people. I was like, all right, well, what's the point of all this? Again, that was a small slice there. I did a little bit. It's just like I got a big sword, and that felt good too. But, again, I kind of have always just wanted a pretty Skyrim, right? With a few more bells and whistles, maybe. It's probably not going to be of the scale of that.
No.
For sure. But there's some fantasy shit going on. There's doing lore. They're doing the thing a lot of games do now, where they're like, the person's talking and they say a funny name. It's highlighted blue, and you can push a button and see what that actually is, right?
Oh, that's great.
Built-in glossary. Hell yeah.
Yeah. So you have that glossary. So that's good because there's always lots of proper names in these things, right? But even like going through the quest, there's like multiple paths, and there's also a lot of kind of hidden side rooms where it's like, oh, there's these 3 electrical buttons here. Do you have an electrical ability to hit them so you can access the special chest? And I'm like, yes, I do. And even though it was very easy, I feel smart for doing that.
I gotta say, like, people, are starting to learn your taste, Mike. But usually, what happens is like you are pretty confident about a game, and if it beats it, it's like, oh, yeah. Then to me, that usually means it's going to be good. So I'm hearing that you liked it, enjoyed it, and it was what you wanted. I'm like, okay, then I feel pretty confident with getting excited about this.
Yeah, like I had my doubts too, but I don't know. I really enjoyed the demo. I think it was kind of everything it needed to be. Let's not worry about Jan just yanking his microphone off of his stand there.
Oh yeah, you buddy, buy a new mic arm. Just go do it right now, and then come back to the podcast.
Yeah, I'll do that real quick.
And again, really gorgeous. And we were playing on a PC thing. I know there's a lot of scuttlebutt about the
30 frames per second on Xbox.
Right. And I think I've complained enough about that for one lifetime. Between this and Monster Hunter, one of the things I was feeling at the Gamescom is, I want to get a new gaming PC pretty soon. I think I need to upgrade here pretty soon. When I say upgrade, I don't mean that PS5 Pro, right? I think I need to do some more substantial stuff than that. But yeah, Jeff, it's hard to say. It's funny because there was a time where like that Elder Scrolls or, the Dark Souls style combat seemed like, wow, this is like this really niche thing. And now it's almost kind of more what people expect. They want that much depth in their fighting games. So like something where you do just kind of like push a button and swing a sword, maybe that's not enough for people. And they are doing things to make it more interesting than that, like those cooldown abilities for the comrades and other stuff that you're doing with your weapons, right? You're not just pushing a button and swinging a sword over and over again. I don't know if now it's not suddenly a Dark Souls or a Sekiro or something like that. That's still enough for me.
Right. And you usually play like sword and board characters. Did you get a chance to use the wand? I'm sorry if you said that. I was too.
So I was using a lot of magic people, and the wand is like the wand itself is weak, so you're supposed to be using all these cooldown spells. And you have to constantly use magic potions. So it honestly seemed kind of fussy when I was like, I could just be shooting people with guns, and that seeed to work really well.
There's guns.
Did you listen to anything that I said?
No, I wasn't. I'm sorry. Wait, what? What? Wait, seriously? What kind of guns? I'm sorry.
A flintlock.
They're flintlock style. Okay.
You have to like.
Well, I mean, listen, when he starts talking, he just, he keeps going, right?
Listen to this week's episode of the Giant Bombcast. He's going to pop off.
I came back halfway. I'm like, all right, I feel confident that I'm on top of everything he said here. I'm good. I didn't miss a beat.
Oh, just so used to the sound. I thought you would have maybe had missed the sound of my voice, not hearing it for a week. But no,
it's just like that pleasant humming. There it is. Let it drone on.
Fuck you. I'm not going to explain the guns again.
That's Flintlock. I get it. Fair enough.
Okay. Cool. I liked them a lot.
Okay, so what you're saying though is like it is like better for you than using a wand because the wand required a lot of micromanagement.
No, because you use the spell. You're a wizard person. It's like here's your wand, and that's kind of weak. And you have 12 spells, and you'll shoot fire. And if you get hit, you lose them, and then you have to use mana potions in the middle of a fight. Whereas the guns, you shoot people, and it works better.
How many spells can you equip at once?
So it's like it was weird because you had to equip different spell books that then have a different suite of spells, and each of those had like 4 or 5. And they're neat. Okay. Like the one spell book was like, here's how you can conjure a bunch of weapons. So you can use the spell to conjure a big claymore. I'm like, I think if I wanted to use a claymore, though, I would have, just equipped a claymore.
Be a claymore guy.
Right. But I guess there's a versatility there, right? Like you can maybe be ready. And like I said, there's those puzzles where I needed to use electricity things. And I had a gun that happened to have that like elemental affinity. But if you're like a wizard, you're probably set for every possible elemental weakness and whatever environmental thing you might want to do.
Did y'all like Pillars of Eternity and Deadfire?
Never played it, so I'm not familiar with this world. I feel like maybe I should.
Same.
Have you?
Yeah, it's really good. I think this is an attempt for it to go, less deep than those games, which I think is maybe smart as an entry point. So I don't think you have to, but I like those games. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I feel bad, but I'm not checking them out.
No.
I think
they're still there.
They're still there. Yeah, they're not. Yeah,
they're not taking them away unless.
Yeah, unless.
Yeah.
Josh Sawyer just says no more. He just destroys them. Says you guys don't deserve this.
In the trash.
Yeah.
Another game.
Oh wait, are there guns in Pillars of Eternity?
There are in Deadfire. Yeah.
Okay.
I can't remember about the first one because they're like pirates in Deadfire.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Another game that there are technically guns in it. Chef Grub, don't worry. I checked this out. Mike Minotti, you checked this out separately. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Reader's Rewind. Boys, friends.
I watched your social post about this, and I read on GameSpot there was a preview, And looking at all the different stuff that's in this game, I think it looks really good.
It looks rad.
It's
looks
absolutely
rad.
fantastic. Yeah. It like I said in that preview video on GameSpot.com, YouTube GameSpot, it's there somewhere.
It's somewhere.
Also, the internet is terribly mad at me for insinuating we don't need a 6th Ranger, and I quickly realized, oh yeah, my preferences in Power Rangers is wildly different than everyone else. But it is a side-scrolling beat-em-up game, just like TMNT, Shredder's Revenge. The combat is that you have like a dodge roll-ish, an up launcher, and then the neat thing is you have the option for a dive kick, but if you double jump, you do a like a down B equivalent, and I think that's a Smash term I've heard. But it's very fun. It goes up to like 5-player co-op, so you get all of the Rangers, and God, it was just dopamine straight into my brain because as someone that absolutely adores the Power Rangers and tries to keep that under wraps, I was just firing off on all cylinders about like how much little small attention to details there were. Like Chris Kohler was doing the demo. Shouts out to Chris Kohler. And I think I popped him when I said, yo, I noticed the idle animations are the actual stances that the Rangers take. And I saw him like,
that's awesome.
A little smile. And it was like, oh, someone noticed. And I'm like, yes, Yay. I did notice. I noticed everything. I noticed the graffiti over there. And then I started asking about like, hey, is this going to incorporate anything from the extended universe from the comic books? And then I started going off in like 3 different storylines. And he was like, no, calm down. Calm down. It's just the TV show. Your time with the demo is done. Please leave.
We put a Slayer coffee machine out there for you to get you out of here. Okay. Just go.
I also enjoyed the demo quite a bit. I think, it's capturing the feel of that classic Power Rangers presentation a lot. I could maybe use like a little bit more in the combat there. There were some fun juggling mechanics that maybe I can kind of dig my teeth into a little bit. Also, it seems like all the Rangers play pretty much the same. I think it's just animation differences.
Yeah,
that's okay. Not a huge problem. What I really want to see are those sort of super scalar special levels that you have
those
between
look great.
The brawling.
Yeah,
we didn't have that in the demo. It seems like we kind of ended right before one of those. Those look fantastic, and that's what I think is really going to potentially make this stand out.
I'm curious as to how they're going to handle the big Zord fights if you are playing co-op. Because like if we're doing like 5 different players, like does everyone like control a limb?
Yeah, that's how it should be. Like I'll control the right arm because I'm the Blue Ranger or whatever.
It is. Did it seem like it might be like QTE or what? Like, or are you just like imagining these scenarios? Did you get a chance to like glimpse at these the Zord fights?
No.
No.
Yeah, no. There was some slight allusion to like how they would play out, but no direct details on how it would be. Like
you should have to get the Kinect out and do like the wipeout game and do poses. And everyone then you can make it do that same pose in the fight.
But this game is just so primed and ready to get DLC for like the Green Ranger, eventually the White Ranger.
Right.
Is that the same person?
It is the same person, but then he almost died because of a candle.
That's right.
And then they were like, oh, we need someone. Who are we going to get? Who has experience of being a Power Ranger? I guess our friend that was a Power Ranger and almost died.
I was deeply upset when he was the White Ranger instead. I was like, because green was my favorite color. I was like, how dare they get rid of green?
You're oppressed.
Yes, exactly. By white people. See, I get it. White Rangers. I understand. I can relate.
Thank you for understanding the plight and being an ally, Mike Minotti.
You're welcome.
But yeah, I'm super jazzed. And like the smallest stupid detail that I got a big kick out of me is, in a side-scrolling beat 'em up, when it'll tell you to advance to the next screen, it'll say go or here or next. This one, because of Power Rangers, it says go.
Go.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, yes.
Yeah, that's cool.
Does it play like a little jingle each time? Like bum, 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 bum.
They do the every time you finish a level, and everything. Just like the attention to detail is insane. I said this in the GameSpot video, but you know the sound that the putties make when they like get dropped into a place? Exactly.
I'm just gonna watch the back of my chair.
So that's a putty from Seinfeld joke. Sorry, everybody.
We can move on.
That's really
thank you.
Fucking good.
Thank you. Yeah.
Here's like an Arby's night.
I loved that.
Thank you.
Jeff Grubb, you are the David Putty of the show.
Thank you. I'll raw dog my flight, and he taught me the ways.
He would raw dog a flight. He does raw dog.
He did raw dog a flight. Yeah.
Yeah, it upset Elaine deeply.
I'm very excited for it. It's coming out 2024 this year. Oh shoot, I should get that on Fantasy.
My question is, and I think Mike might have been alluding to this when he says hoping for a little bit more of the combat. It seems like the choices they're making have led them to be like, we have a lot of variety. There's a lot of different stuff. So maybe not make any one part of the game too complex. Is that the sense you guys get?
That's what I was saying. Like, I wouldn't say like, I don't know if there's quite as much going on with the combat as even in Shredder's Revenge.
Right. And Shredder's Revenge is like a notch down from like Streets of Rage 4.
Yeah, right.
Sure.
I think it's good that the game for children is easy to understand, personally.
But is it for children, right? Because like it is, but it's like, it's not like based on the new Power Rangers, it's based on the Power Rangers shows from the 90s.
That's true.
It's a retro beat 'em up. So it's kind of both things.
Yeah.
It's a game for children with expensive taste in coffee.
Yeah. There you go.
I feel targeted by that, John.
Weird. It wasn't meant for you. He's talking about someone else.
No, someone else.
What?
It's all those kids out there who's like, I love expensive coffee machines.
Hey. Mike Minotti, one more game that we checked out, or you checked out from Gamescom. You played Monster Hunter Wilds.
Yeah, this was one I didn't have an appointment for, and I probably had one of the longest lines of the show. So the last day I was
there... And
it was
playable?
It was playable.
Okay.
Last day I was there, I just kind of like, they did let press in like an hour early, but even then, like you got in that line, you were still there for a while. So I got in early enough that I only had to wait 90 minutes to play Monster Hunter Wilds, which was absolutely, I'm really excited for this game. I think every time they show it, it looks amazing. I enjoyed World and actually really liked Rise, and just super ready to really dig into one of these games like I never did before. The demo was pretty much just you start the game, right? So it was a lot of the cutscene stuff. Part of me was almost a little bummed out about that. I was like, I'm sitting here like able to play this game. I'm kind of watching cutscenes. I know, I'd rather it was just like go on a hunt. But they did the thing they kind of did in World, where like the beginning is a bit cinematic. There was people running away on those brand new mounts that can kind of glide, and it does lead into an actual monster fight. And like that stuff all felt great. All that Monster Hunter big sword combat is very good. There was definitely some new stuff, or stuff that I think is new, where you kind of like almost like do third person aiming at all times, even if you're using a melee weapon. So it makes it very easy or easier to target specific body parts, but also like wounds will show up on these creatures now, and you can if you hit those with certain attacks, you kind of do extra damage there. The animation for that, very gratifying stuff. It wasn't enough of a demo to get a sense for that kind of bigger scale with the world. Basically, I did the intro, then I was able to walk around the base camp for a little bit. So
were you like chasing the monsters around like you do sometimes in these fights? And did that feel any bigger?
Were the parents of the animals crying and saying, "Please don't kill my kids. Please don't kill my kids"?
When you got to do a natural colonialism, you got to understand, Nicky. You just got to let the man do what you got to do.
VGBs is when we announced this last week on the website or on the podcast, which you can go listen to on iTunes or wherever podcasts are sold by typing in VGB's podcast. We are an anti-Monster Hunter publication.
Oh,
yeah,
because it fucking sucks.
Well, it's like now that the talon's been cut off, its kids know where to find it, and you can kill the kids now.
Listen, when you describe what's happening in the video game, which I think is unfair, it sounds bad. All right, it sounds like an issue. But if you just play it and turn your brain off the way God intended,
I don't know.
No, but you can't turn your brain off. You have to play the video game, and that part feels like shit.
I've never liked a Monster Hunter, so I'm like,
Jeff Grubb, you're on the right side of history.
That's what I'm always saying.
Hey, slather the blood of the mother bear on yourself and run into the woods.
I had so much fun killing these animals. They went down one point. You cut the limb off, and you get to carve that for extra goodie, so that you can wear its pelts to protect yourself when you fight its descendants or whatever. But no, there was a little bit of Jeff. I had to chase the monster around, but that stuff's been a rise. There was a little bit of
That's what I was asking. It's just because you said you couldn't get the scope. That you didn't notice the scope in that segment. It wasn't like, oh, now we're chasing them across this whole continent or something. It felt normal to what Monster Hunter has been.
Right, exactly. And of course, that was always going to be hard in some 30-minute demo, let alone one that was kind of just half cutscenes and an intro.
Right.
There was a bit in me that after that, I was like, I definitely played Monster Hunter just now, which, it is what I want in some ways. But yeah, it was hard to get a sense of what was super different in this demo. Plus, people talked like this demo is definitely kind of running at 30 frames per second, and Monster Hunter, that was something that bummed me out about having to play Rise on Switch. I get compromise there. But again, this is the one I think I walked out. I was like, ooh, I'm going to have to make sure I really have a PC that's ready to get this thing running optimally.
Wonderful, wonderful. I'm very excited for Monster Hunter.
It doesn't have guns, Jeff. Yes, it does.
It does have guns. It's a whole class.
It does.
It's all, yeah, those freaks playing Monster Hunter like a shooter. I kind of have to salute it, I guess.
John Warren, VGBs may be an anti-Monster Hunter website /podcast, but how is it in regards to the game of football?
Oh, man, Jan, I've been playing a lot of the 2 football games that are out, and I think they both stink.
Oh, okay.
I think they both stink.
Because I was very excited to hear about it because I haven't checked out a Madden in, God, I don't know, decades. And it's been a minute since college football, and I thought this would be good.
I think I'm excited about the future of college football. The vibes are immaculate, for real.
They crushed all that stuff.
And I'm enjoying that aspect of it a lot. But I think both franchise and dynasty mode, which are historically the 2 most the deepest modes of each respective game, have not really been touched in a meaningful way in a long time. The fact that there's nothing really new in this dynasty mode than the one 11 years ago is inexcusably weird to me. And I think the Frostbite engine is awful for this, and it has been for a while. And them not trying to do anything new with it is perplexing to me. I said it to Nikki, it feels like shoving gack through a steel grate. Just controlling these guys in traffic, it just feels like it's not meant for this, because it literally is not meant for this.
You very much have to play this game how it wants to be played. You can't bring too many of your own ideas to how you're going to get these characters to move. It's okay, I got to learn the language of how these characters are going to move in this space. And I think that's just down to Frostbite is a bad engine, my understanding, for animation. For animation.
But it's almost as if you're going to build a sports game, which the entire game is animate. You built the entire game out of animations.
Yeah.
I personally wouldn't have made the decision to translate the first-person shooter engine that you designed for Battlefield and then put football in it. That's insane. It wasn't even like the engine that they were using previously wasn't great, but had legs and was workable and was designed from the ground up for football.
They were going to have to do a lot of work either way. It just feels like they chose this one because it was getting more attention currently, and they're like, okay, well, then we can just do a little bit more work. And it's like, no, it's going to be a lot more work. I think that you can get to a point with college football to where once you do understand it, it's like, okay, this begins to feel the way I want it to feel. And all of the other stuff is working so well that it's easy enough for me to enjoy. But I wish there were other football games on the market. That would just be the actual answer here.
So, John, when you say you're excited about the future of college football, is it more so the promise of improvement on it, or?
Yeah, because I think they still understand what people like about that game. And I think that team did an exceptional job where Madden is stagnating. I think where I'm excited is that eventually I think these 2 teams will be in some ways competing against each other for ideas, for kind of structural differences, for eyeballs, because these are coming out a month apart. and I don't know how many years in a row people will be like, I'm going to buy both. Like,
Sure.
I do feel like at some point people are going to start to silo themselves.
Yeah,
because,
Oh, sorry. There's a big, when you start up college football, there's a big, do you want to save 30% on Madden right now?
A lot of people did that, though.
Yes, no, for sure. Yeah,
I totally did that. Yeah.
Yes, this year. I think you're absolutely right. That I think the ideal scenario for them, because you're right, it's going to putter out a little bit, is people like alternate years, right? This is the year I'll get college football. That's next year I'll get Madden. And, it gives them a little bit of room to like maybe let off the gas on trying to like force these new features into these games that just never, ever really hit the way truck stick hit and hit stick hit.
Right.
They're also going to run into the issue of like, well, hey, now we're making 2 football games a year. Yeah. And we spent a lot of extra time trying to get college football to feel bespoke and special. And are we going to be afforded that every year? Absolutely not. It is just all Tiburon, right? That's all. Like, this is Tiburon. They're also making the golf game. I think they might have another project. So that's a team down in Orlando where it's not like there's a lot of people around they could just hire off the street to come work on these games. So I think they're going to get stretched real thin, real fast. And in a couple of years, it's going to feel. I think for these franchises is going to feel rough because of that.
And this is interesting. Later this year, the NFL decides whether or not to renew that contract with EA.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like,
that's
either way, it's weird for
time.
EA, right? Because if EA does get the contract renewed, it's probably for a lot more money. And then that means probably spend less money on Madden than they've already not been spending. Or, they have to compete in the market. And then suddenly, I don't know, if 2K can come back and make a football game, I think they do right away. Like instantly they do it. Yeah. So we'll see.
And like, it's so clear, right, that the move for EA is, okay, we're going to kind of divest ourselves from the idea of being directly attached to these leagues, right? Like, or these leagues or organizations. Like, it's not
dropping the
FIFA.
NCAA was the right move. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's like, it's not FIFA anymore. It's EAFC. This is just the soccer game. Mm-hmm. Like, we have the license for soccer teams, right? Like, the college football game is we got the license for these teams. And like the NFL, it's the biggest game in town, obviously. But like, if you're the NFL, yes, you are getting money, but like, I would probably be more interested from a digital like strategy perspective if I'm the NFL in like giving you can keep making Madden and also other people can, like the NBA did in the mid 2010s when there was 2K and there was NBA Live, and like NBA Live those years was really bad. Like that game was called NBA Elite, the one where Andrew Bynum got stuck at midcourt and then did a T-pose in the middle of the court, and that game never came out. Like, they shipped it into stores and they pulled it off the shelf. Like, so, but from the NBA's perspective, who cares, right? Like, people they're making video games based off of your thing. You're making money regardless. People aren't going to think less of the NBA because EA has made a bad video game.
No. Yeah.
So like, if I'm the NFL, I'm kind of like, you can keep making Madden. Also, 2K, come in here. You can make a game. A smaller team can make an arcade NFL Blitz style situation. Like, license the players from the Player Association. Like, that seems like a more intelligent move, like, to get the game out there that way.
To be clear, other developers are allowed to make an arcadey style game.
Right now, they're okay. They're allowed to do that.
They're allowed to do that. They're not allowed to make a simulation.
Right?
Yeah. So we are seeing like Retro Bowl on iPhone is doing an NFL pass.
Oh, they are.
So,
interesting.
Yeah.
Retro Bowl.
So they're Tecmo Bowl.
They're the Tecmo Bowl one. Yeah.
So NFL's dipping their toes into other licensing agreements, but not in simulation space. Yeah. So like the simulation agreement is what is still active, and that's what's preventing other teams from being able to make a NFL sim game.
Yeah, I think the NFL probably ends up being like, how many other companies are actually going to come through on this and give us any money to make something? Maybe it's better we just get our money up front from EA, who we know it's valuable to, so we know we can put the screws on them. And so, yeah, I lean towards them probably renewing this, but I don't like that.
the NFL is very lazy.
They
in a lot
are,
of ways.
tremendously.
Like
lazy.
if they've got a big check coming to them, they're not looking at like finding more necessarily.
Right.
They're just like, we can basically just dust this.
Right. They got the TV rights. They can afford to be lazy on everything else. Yep.
Yep, pretty much. Yeah.
More like no fun league, am I right?
Jeez.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Holy moly.
That was a tactical strike, Nikki Grayson, just like John Warren and Jeff Grubb have been taking tactical strikes. Thank you. In Tactical Breach Wizards. I'm a little sad I haven't played more of this.
I kind of just started it. I'm like maybe an hour and a half in, and I'm like, I'm surprised how much I like this. I thought it would be, oh yeah, sure, it's fun. There's some tactics here, and it's funny, but there's not much to it. And it's like this is giving me like Into the Breach vibes in terms of I see a level in front of me. I can try to find out the best choices to take the least amount of damage and do the most amount of damage each turn. And the more I think about it, the more ideas I'm having, and then to execute on this like perfect move and see it play out feels really good. But like I said, I'm early. Does it keep building on that, John?
It does. I'm still pretty early, but I know a couple people have watched them play that are better a bit later. It does keep building on those ideas. And this is a Tom Francis joint who made a game called Gunpoint that I like 11 years ago, as well as Heat Signature, which came out in 2017.
Also, Tom Francis sounds like the magical Tom Clancy, so it works.
It does. Yeah. It does. And he's just such a smart developer. You're basically wizards, basically busting into hostage situations to take out terrorists with magic and foresight and stuff like that. It combines a lot of cool magical RPG stuff with tactical, XCOM like Invisible Ink like, and boy, it's crunchy. It's really crunchy. Yeah. There's a lot of really good writing in it. It's a little like sarcasm is my native language writing, but it's actually good, which is like very rare.
It knows what it's doing, right? Because it's it's not just trying to be military wizards. It's like, well, yeah, we're going to do that, and then we're going to understand and deconstruct that language and kind of like put it out there baldly for everyone to just be like, oh, that's funny that they're just going for it. But we could tell they know what they're doing, and that makes it even that much funnier.
And it's just it's really fun. A lot of deep strategy here. What I like about it is that you can kind of see what things are gonna happen before you execute them, which is like really great because I think a lot of tactical games are punitive, like they're overly punitive, especially to
they think you shouldn't have that information. Yeah.
Sure. And I think it's really fun to see all that stuff play out. You can kind of play with strategy. And also like knocking guys out of windows is like a key strategy. Basically.
And it never stops being fun.
Level. Never stops being fun. And it's an indie. It plays great on Steam Deck, even though the text is pretty small. And I'm having a blast with it.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think that foresight of being able to see everything of like, okay, you've made some choices here. Now you could press this button as a wizard to like see the future, and you could see what's going to happen in this turn. And then if you like it, you just let it play. Then you saw the future, and the future played out. And if you don't like it, then you can rewind and do things over. And it's like, oh, that's just a smart mechanic because one, it makes me feel still like I'm in the game and making a choice as a wizard. And two, this is very convenient to me as a player. And you can play fast and loose with your ideas, right? What if I did this? What if I tried that? Actually, I don't understand how this ability where I chain the lightning from one guy to the next. I know the text is telling me to do this, but I don't really understand it. It's like, oh, I was just doing the inputs wrong. And I was able to test that over and over with the rewind until I got it right. And so it's like, it just kind of making you feel comfortable playing around in the space. And I really appreciate that in a game like this.
It makes games that don't allow you to do that seem really silly by comparison.
Yeah, right.
Once you see it, it's like you're still using your brain. Like it's still very tactical and feels like strategic, but you're not. It's not like, well, that didn't work, and now 3 of my guys are dead. I've got to reload a save. It just feels silly to have to do that.
Yeah,
so
right. It just feels like the best way to build a vocabulary of how to play the game. Sorry, Jan, go ahead.
No, I was going to say I think that's one of my biggest fears if Final Fantasy Tactics or Tactics Advances ever remastered or remade, because there's so many quality of life additions to tactics style games that I don't know if Square would implement in fear of angering the original audience. Because like God, in Into the Breach, that rewind mechanic that you had at least once in every level was absolutely essential to make sure I didn't bone myself. Yeah, John, like you spend so long only to figure out that 2 of your people are gonna die due to something you didn't see. So,
right.
Oh boy, I don't want to lose that snowball fight anymore.
Also, there are guns in this game.
There are guns?
Yeah. There's guns in it.
That's crazy.
Holy smokes. Jeff Grubb, are there guns in Star Wars Outlaws?
No.
No.
Oh.
No.
Well, folks, we'll be right back after this break.
Star Wars Outlaws. Yeah, I've been playing that. I'm a little bit more,
Jeff Grubb.
Well, I'm a little bit more than 10 hours in, and I enjoy it. Even though I could I did a tweet like saying, "Hey, I like it, but here are a bunch of the issues that you should probably know about." And of course that got turned into a whole thing where it's like, he likes it just because of Star Wars. It's like, haven't you all played like a licensed game before? This is what they are.
Yes,
they're underbaked, and they cut back in spaces because they have to spend a lot of money on the license. So the fact that this game gets a lot of stuff right in terms of the way it looks and feels. I do give it a little bit more leeway. If that's not for you, I completely understand. I think some people are going to play this game and hate it, and I will not be surprised or offended. I am just in the mood for an open world game to a certain extent. The open worldness of this game is, hey, get on the speeder bike, travel over there, do some Star Wars stuff. As you're traveling on the bike, it's going to look amazing.
Sure.
The vistas look incredible. They do look like they are ripped from Ralph McQuarrie concept art that I grew up on. And then you go to the city, and every little nook and cranny is filled with like some little alien freak doing something cool. Or I went down an alley and it was dark, and I took my flashlight out. And I saw 2 stormtroopers standing over a body, and they're like, "Get out of here, get out!" And it was like, nothing happens with that when you go in there, and if you attack them, they'll attack you back. But in terms of your ability to interact with these things, very limited, to the point where it's almost nothing. So the world doesn't quite feel alive. But you know what it feels like is walking around Star Wars land at Disney. Except there's like a million more things. There's a million more details, and there's several planets, and it's like I kind of still like that. So I keep playing, even though it's like, well, I did I kind of talked about it now on Twitter. I'm talking about it here. I don't necessarily need to keep playing it, but it's the game I want to be going back to right now. I would give it a 3 out of 5. I think it's a fine, good game. That's some people are going to either really like because they nailed all the accoutrement, they nailed all the vibes. Or some people are going to be like, no, this is not good enough. I want better Star Wars games. And I think both takes are completely acceptable.
If this was a PlayStation 2 game, it would be the best PlayStation 2 game ever made.
Yes, that's a very good.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
sure.
And it is going to be like there is a 14 to 16-year-old who is going to get this game, and it is going to be their favorite video game.
Yeah,
like they are going to talk about the stuff that they did in it all the time. Their parents are going to hear constantly about their exploits in this game, and like I think there need to be more games that are like this. Like sometimes I think we have this idea on like what AAA is supposed to be, and like I do think that we should ask these like large multi-billion-dollar corporations to push the medium forward, right? But sometimes you got to make a fucking video game, guys.
Yeah.
Like sometimes you really do just need to go make a video game. You can see the seams of this thing constantly. It is showing you the edges of what is possible with this budget all of the time. And to me, that is endearing. Like I love that. Like I love that I can see that a person made this kind of all of the time. I think it looks great. It sounds really good. There's an option. I texted John the day I downloaded the game. There's an option. They run you through the accessibility settings right before you can play the game. I have it also. Oh, actually, while I remember, Grub, what do you think about the lockpicking minigame?
I am good at it, so it's fine.
Okay,
got it. It's just timing. It's like, I played a ton of rhythm games. I'll just it's not too punishing. So what it is, it's like the light lights up on a beat, and you have to like just hit the button along the beat so the both lights light up at the same time. And if you no matter
both lights,
Nikki.
Well, Nikki. I mean, there's the light that is like signaling you, and then your light is the one beneath that, and you just want to make sure that they're blinking at the same time. What did you think you were supposed to do? Nikki's leaving. That's interesting.
Oh no, Nikki's like drinking more honey now. Oh no, Nikki, stop.
Here's what I was doing.
The thing with the sequences, like you could start it at any point and it doesn't matter. So it's like if you like get the beat halfway through, it's not going to punish you. But like you didn't start from the beginning, so it's like it's not punishing. So I've been fine with it.
Nikki sent a bunch of us in the old Fanbyte Discord like a message that was like, "The lockpicking's terrible."
No,
it's really bad.
No. I said, and I quote, I said either. What did I say?
The forking realities here. All right.
I said, where the fuck? No, hold on. I have to defend myself. Lock picking. I said,
you better show guns. You shot the block.
Yesterday at 8:09 a.m. I said, in the hashtag Fanbyte Rebirth area, I said, I am either America's worst gamer or the lockpicking minigame is the worst thing in the world. So it does seem as if it's the former.
Oh, no.
So I think it's the former.
What were you trying to do?
I was mashing that right trigger, buddy. Really just fucking... So I was like, because there's the thing that goes around, right? And I was like, oh, so I need to time... Because there's a visual indicator, there's a rotating thing in the lock, and you have your data picked, right? And I was like, I need to time the key to go into the slot.
Oh no, none of that matters.
And that's not it at all.
None of that. That is all just visual gobbledygook.
Yes,
yeah,
and
it's
I was
just
like,
the lights.
Does nothing. So what did I do? I turned
Beeps
it off.
do. Yeah.
That's what I did.
The sounds weren't registering.
That's what I did in Spider-Man 2018 as well. Like there's the those puzzles when you're in the lab and you have to do science to like line that shit up. And I was like, I'm turning this off. I don't need I get it. Like
when I replay a game
smart.
now, I just turn it off. Yeah.
Yeah, like he's smart. He can do science. Like I understand. I'll press X one time and then I'll move it. I forgot what I was gonna say. So.
You were talking about like other stuff in the accessibility options, I think, and then you stopped to talk about this because of that.
You can play the entire game in letterbox.
It's like defaults to letterbox, right?
Yes, which is wild. And then I texted John and I was like, this
21
is so
by
sick.
9.
And then I played it for like maybe 30 minutes and I was like, maybe this sucks. And I turned it off and I turned it back to full screen.
This was playable in demo form at Gamescom, and I think it was automatically set to letterbox. There's a very heavy film grain, and I thought it looked like garbage.
You need to turn that film grain. Film grain needs to be turned down. Yes. A lot, if not all the way off, at least down to medium. You want to turn off chromatic aberration. That's not looking great in this game. That's a hit or miss for me in a lot of games. Mostly miss. It's a miss here. Once you do that, it'll look a lot crisper. That film grain is aggressive. It's wild that they did that.
It's chunky,
especially if you are playing with the DLSS turned on. I don't know. It doesn't seem like DLSS handles, at least as far as I can tell, doesn't handle film grain super well. Maybe it's just
which is because it's noise. It's just visual noise. So the idea that like you're feeding the computer, which is generating information based off of a crisp, clean image, and you're feeding the computer bullshit noise, it's gonna make it look muddy and weird.
Just from somebody who like is like, Star Wars, that's the thing I watched on VHS. So really Jeff, I played like that big preview of this like maybe a month ago. I got to play for 5 hours. I remember at the time I was like, this is a stealth game actually, and people seemed kind of surprised by that. I even started doubting myself, like maybe I did something wrong, because it doesn't seem like this is being positioned as a stealth game.
It's a stealth game. It's like really super duper stealth game. You could blast your way out of a lot of situations, of course, but it's a stealth game. That's how they want you to be playing. My
biggest concern was like, well, all this stuff seems fine, but it's clearly not like it's trying to be a Hitman or Metal Gear Solid 5 in terms of what you can do there. So if a lot of the game is just these kind of basic, follow behind the guard kind of stealth stuff, maybe that might be a bit of a bummer.
It's a bummer. I mean, this is a licensed game. I think this is what I think of when I'm playing this game is a Super Nintendo Total Recall. It is, hey, that's a platformer, but it's not a platformer like Mario's a platformer. Come on. Okay. This is a stealth game, but not a stealth game like Hitman or Metal Gear Solid 5 or something like that. It's probably closest to Metal Gear Solid 1 in terms of like what you're doing. You can whistle, I think, attract enemies over you.
Watch Dogs is a good comparison.
Watch Dogs is very similar to Watch Dogs, maybe with a little bit less even going on than that.
Okay.
And I think that's like, oh, sorry, go ahead, Jen.
No, I was going to say, in like the 2 different demo missions I played, I think they were more action oriented, and the gunplay just felt very, very poor.
Yeah, because it's not what you're supposed to be.
Sure. Okay. Well, that
know?
makes more sense than hearing that it's supposed to be framed as like a semi-stealth game.
You need to upgrade your blaster. It gets some more powerful stuff later on, and that makes it a little bit better. I think the gunplay is fine once you get some of that stuff going.
It was more so like the controls of it felt very floaty in like a different way. Other Star Wars games feel floaty with like the gunplay in terms of like the lasers and stuff.
They definitely want you to be like feeling like you are sneaking. I did a mission where I was supposed to steal something from an Imperial fortress kind of guarded on this planet. And I mostly did that stealth, and I got an occasional skirmish, and I used my little Nix guy to turn off the alarm before someone set that off, so the whole station would be alerted to my presence, things like that. And that felt pretty cool. The biggest part, as it is with this entire game, is it just looks incredible. It looks so much like you would imagine walking around an Imperial garrison on one of these planets, that it's like, I just feel cool doing this. Yeah. And then so then I do get caught occasionally, and I have this ability where the first person that sees me, I could talk my way out of it for a second, and then I could shoot them. And I'm working on, if I shoot them with the stun gun, with the phaser, whatever. I'm like building up towards getting an upgrade for my character if I do 6 of those while I'm in this like hands up talking animation. So there's stuff to be doing, and it's definitely encouraging you to like explore your options rather than just always be blasting. But if people try to play this as a shooter, I think they're going to be able to succeed for the most part. It's not that punishing.
I think, and this isn't how this conversation is going to go, because obviously reviews came out yesterday and this is not how the conversation has gone. But like, and it's really hard to say whose fault this is. But like, if expectations were set differently on like what the scale and kind of game this was, I think this conversation would be completely different. Because when it was pitched 1.5 million years ago, my initial read was, oh, they made Grand Theft Auto, but it's Star Wars.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's not what that very much is not what it is. And I think it's great that that's not what it is. But I do think a lot of people still have in their mind that like it is a true open world experience where you're shooting your, like, they have a different game in mind. Yeah. And I think that like there should be a better vessel to adjust expectations on what people think is going to come out of titles like this. Yeah. Because if, like I said, if you're expecting like a Cyberpunk 2077 scale, push the genre forward. I hate that game, but like push the genre forward.
Yeah, one of me.
Yeah.
Join the hater club. It's great.
Yeah, I think that's the general problem with Star Wars as like a property, is that like everyone is expecting every new project, whether it's an animated thing, a movie, show, game, for it to make a gigantic leap for the fandom, but
and it can't, like, it fundamentally cannot.
Yeah,
and
like,
it's better when we are all like in the thought process of, oh, there's a ton of these, and so it feels cheaper, and it feels like, oh, there's less at stake, because I know there's going to be another game here in a couple of months that it might be very different, but maybe that one would be really good. Yeah. So the fact that I played this one, and people pointed out, like, back when you could rent games, people had much more tolerance for these sorts of things. I get that, but it's like when you look back 3 games from now, and you're like, oh man, remember that Star Wars Outlaws game? That was actually kind of fun. Yeah. And I think that's going to still happen here, because the more I play it, the more I'm enjoying it, which is not exactly what I was expecting as I was seeing some of these reviews out. I'm like, I bet this thing's going to fall apart for me. But I did get to a point where it's like, all right, the Pikes, one of the crime syndicates, very mad at me. I have a terrible relationship with them, because every time I get a chance to like work with one of these other gangs, I'm picking them, I'm min-maxing. And so basically anytime I'm near their territory, they are sending out death crews, and they are still after me as I was sneaking into this Imperial base. And I did eventually like sound the alarm enough times that they were like, okay, we are sending the death troopers after you. And so there was a death trooper ship landing. The Pikes are chasing me everywhere. I found like this little offshoot where I found a little secret. I came out, and I'm like, all right, I'm moving on with the game. I got this big important story object. I'm going to be able to improve my ship and move on. And as I'm like just, lollygagging over to my ship, it's like, oh, all of hell broke loose. And I'm on my speeder bike, and I'm doing kind of pretty sick moves of doing these jumps and avoiding these enemies, and occasionally doing the dead-eye aim and taking out 3 of them, shooting them, and causing the Pikes and the Imperials to fight against one another. I'm like, that's cool. I feel pretty cool right now. Yeah. And it's not like, none of it sounds like, none of it like is as amazing as like some of the best games that do this stuff.
Yeah.
But it's pretty close. And then for me, it's Star Wars, so it's clicking very hard.
Character story, is that working for you?
It's getting a little bit more interesting. It's not as good as like Fallen Order's story. I have not played Survivor yet. I played a little bit of it. But in terms of that being the point of comparison right now, it's okay, serviceable, in line again with a lot of these other Star Wars licensed games you would have played before. Very similar, like a Dash or Endar. I mean, I think that Kay Vess is actually a pretty good character. I enjoy spending time with her. I did just get the sexy robot, and I get it. Sure. I get it. Holy crap, that dude is hot.
You get it in that you want to fuck the robot?
I think I want to fuck the robot. Yeah, it's like there's just such a good vibe there, and then you're
safe.
You think it'd be rude to ask the sexy robot if the sexy robot can make me good coffee?
I think you can. I think the robot will be fine. And the robot kind of starts off a little bit like, I'm putting you in your place, and it's like, all right, okay, daddy's home. Yeah,
daddy's home.
Yeah, it's
daddy droid.
Yeah, daddy droid, absolutely. But so you're gonna like come across pretty good characters. I think all the voice acting stuff is pretty good. There's a little head in the jar alien guy that you meet, and he's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I met him in my mission. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's got the stuff that you want from Star Wars.
It does.
And like, I think that there is, with this license specifically, right? Because it is fraught, right? Like in every kind of way, it's fraught.
It's in a weird place. Yeah.
And it's like, if you think about what Star Wars is fundamentally, right? It's a story where weird shit happens in space. And that's kind of all you gotta do.
Yeah.
Like, it's gotta be fun and lighthearted and silly. And like, it kind of needs to feel like, because the original trilogy was like this, it kind of needs to feel like it doesn't make any fucking sense. Like, and it needs to feel dirty and rickety. Like, yeah, that's what Star Wars is.
Yep.
And like, I think it feels the most like a Star Wars game to me. Like, the most actually like a Star Wars thing has felt since The Last Jedi.
Oh,
yeah.
I read someone say that it reminded them heavily of Shadows of the Empire. Which
that's
is a compliment.
100% is what I keep going back to in my head the most. Like, honestly, and also a lot of the prequel era games. It's got a lot of that. But Shadows of the Empire, not a good game. Had a great first level. Hoth level is all time.
But it understood what the license was.
Exactly.
Like, deeply, I feel like. Yeah.
And it's just interesting because there was a time where Shadows of the Empire, not a great game, and yet that could still be a very important game, right? And we're kind of at an era now where I think Outlaws could probably still do well. Who knows whether it's going to be a success or not, like for Ubisoft. But is it going to be an important game?
Right, and that's kind of where that's the frustrating part right now. Is it feels like you're right. It has to be an important game for it to justify itself, and that sucks. I wish that's not where we were, but that is kind of where we are with these publishers. The one comparison to like Shadows of the Empire. Shadows of the Empire maybe had a little bit more variety in what you're doing. As much as this is an open world game, and I'm playing Sabacc and stuff here and there, and but it's like, no, you're gonna go do a mission. It's gonna be go here, get the thing, probably do some stealth, maybe do some shooting, come back, talk to someone, and then do it all over again. And again, if that's like sounds very rote, I get it. You're gonna need an affinity for Star Wars to enjoy this game. I think that is, I don't think that's a unreasonable thing to say about a licensed video game.
Right. Sure. Last thing, I went to Disneyland immediately after Gamescom because I'm a broken person. I'm kicking the dirt underneath my desk because Dr. Randall had told me that I could buy a shoot physical Sabacc.
Wait, really?
Card deck at Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah.
And then I forgot about it again.
I gotta go.
No. Nuts. I guess I'll just have to go again.
There you go.
Folks, that's it for games.
Wait, can I talk about Fortnite for 2 seconds?
Please.
You get 3 seconds, maybe.
Okay, I'm gonna do 3 minutes.
There's guns?
There's gun. They added guns. This Fortnite season is really good. I think they do this. They're doing this thing right now, which is like it's really hard, I'm sure, for this studio. They have a great season and then they have a piss poor season. They kind of go back and forth.
I think it's deliberate. I think they do it on purpose.
I also kind of think it might be a little bit intentional. And it's like because the narrative is also it's good again.
Mm-hmm.
you know, and then you're like, oh, really? It's
get the boys back together. We're back.
Yeah,
we're so
back in here. It's the Marvel season. I think that the seasons where they are like fucking whatever, you can get every gun is rare. You get every single power up that you could possibly want. You feel silly. You're doing like silly combinations. Like you can have a loadout that is like War Machine's like jetpack and an automatic turret and rocket launchers, and you can have Captain America's shield, and you can have a gun. And when you have Captain America's shield and you hold left trigger, you can't take damage from the front. And then you have the auto turret, and the auto turret is shooting shit automatically. You can throw Captain America's shield, and it does the thing that you want. It bounces off of people. It comes back to you. Like the rockets are like unbelievably overpowered. You're blowing up buildings that people are sitting inside. Like, when I think the game swims, when Fortnite swims and it like plugs all of this licensed bullshit into gameplay mechanics that make sense and feel good, I don't actually think there's a video game like it. There is stuff that you can do in Fortnite that is just funny. Like, it simply is funny to kill Ariana Grande with Captain America's shield when you yourself are Peter Griffin. Like, that is like, I understand that for some people that sucks, and I also agree that kind of fucking sucks. But if you just take for 1 second and you're like, what is a video game? Right? Like, a video game is like, we are putting things together that should not be together and turning it into an experience that you can only do doing this thing.
Yeah, I mean,
that's what this is.
Describing what you do in Fortnite sounds awful. Doing it feels like $1 million.
Yes, it feels like $1 million fucking dollars. Yeah. It's incredible.
It's right in the moped, right? Where it's like it's embarrassing if your friends see you doing it, but when you're doing it, you're having a great time.
When you're doing it, it's amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's I think it's great. I think it's good when you kill. You roll up to Dr. Doom, Mysterio is hanging out, and you kill Mysterio, and then you can play the Cantina theme on Mysterio's body, and then you can run around, and then you turn the corner, and guess what? Who's that? That's right, it's J Balvin. He's here now, and he's dressed up like a dinosaur.
So I'm a monster for killing a bear dinosaur creature in Monster Hunter, but killing Ariana Grande and Mysterio. That's
because she signed a contract. That lizard in Monster Hunter didn't sign up to be there.
Yeah, Nikki, it stinks that you weren't available when we checked all the Marvel stuff out that they re-added, because it was hilarious to see that Bailey got downed as Magneto. I throw Captain America's shield at someone that knock them in the process, pick up Magneto as Cyclops, throw Magneto's almost lifeless body to get past like the goo zone, and then Sean, Grub, you were playing, right? And then Grub and Sean laying down suppressive fire, and then we get the big dub.
Yeah. Like it's I think it's the only good battle royale. Like I actually think that because there's at least when you're playing Call of Duty, when you're playing Warzone, for me, there is a point where I'm like, I could just be playing team deathmatch. Honestly, like I would rather be doing that, because then I get to play more of the video game. When I die in Fortnite, I am never mad. Because I always something silly has happened. Even if the round is 3 minutes long, something silly has happened. Even if the image of me getting got, the character that got me is good, and I'm like, well, you know what? I'm really happy. I do hope that Lewis Hamilton has a great next 15 minutes.
It's the one that makes you feel like you're not wasting your time, especially when you're playing with other people, and when people around you are getting killed, they still had a good time. PUBG's the one I would play solo, though. I would never play Fortnite solo. PUBG is the one where
you gotta start playing Fortnite solo. It's great.
I don't
that's the thing, though, Grub. It still hits so hard.
But like, I'm like, I want to be hanging out with friends in Fortnite, and then PUBG scares me. That's why I want to play. I'm playing as a horror game. It's a very different experience.
Okay.
Can you play Fall Guys in PUBG though?
Shit.
Yeah. See. So
there we go. All right, folks. That does it for games and bants. We're gonna take a quick bricky break, And we'll be back with the news right after this.
What about now? It's time to rock with.
What about now? It's time to rock with the biggity rock bumper. What about now? It's time to rock with the biggity rock bumper. Bum to the bum to the bum to the bass. Bum to the bum to the bumper. Bum to the bum to the bum to the bass. Bum to the bum to the bumper. Bum to the bum to the bum to the bass. Bum to the bum to the bumper. Bum to the bum to the bum to the bass. Bum to the bum to the bumper. Bump to the boot to the boot to the boot boot. Bump to the bass to the bass bass. Bump to the boot to the boot to the boot. Bump to the bass to the bass bass. Phenomenal, 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 phenomenal mission. Phenomenal, phenomenal mission. Man, the whole of them. Phenomenal, phenomenal. Phenomenal, phenomenal mission. Phenomenal, phenomenal mission. Man, the whole of them. Bump to the boot to the bum to the bass. Bump to the boot to the bum to the boot to the bum to the bass. Bum to the boot to the bum to the boot to the bum to the bass. Bum to the boot to the bum to the boot to the bum to the bass. Bum to the boot to the bum.
What about now? It's time to rock with the biggity rock bumper. What about now? It's time to rock with the biggity rock bumper. Bum to the bum to the bum to the bass. Bum to the bum to the bumper. Bum to the bum to the bum to the bass. Bum to the bum to the bumper. Bum to the bum to the bum to the bass. Bum to the bum to the bumper. Bum to the bum to the bum to the bass. Bum to the bum to the bumper. Bum to the boot to the boot to the boot boot. Bum to the bass bass bass. Bum to the boot to the boot to the boot boot. Bum to the bass bass bass.
What about now? It's time to rock with the biggity rock bumper. What about now? It's time to rock with the biggity rock bumper. Bum to the bum to the bum to the bass. Bum to the bum to the bumper. Bum to the bum to the bum to the bass. Bum to the bum to the bumper. Bum to the bum to the bum to the bass. Bum to the bum to the bumper. Bum to the bum to the bum to the bass. Bum to the bum to the bumper. Bump to the boot to the boot to the boot boot. Bump to the bass bass bass. Bump to the boot to the boot to the boot. Bump to the bass bass bass. Phenomenal, 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 phenomenal mission. Phenomenal mission. Man, the whole of them. Phenomenal, 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 phenomenal mission. Phenomenal mission. Man, the whole of them. Bump to the boot to the bum to the bass. Bump to the boot to the bum to the boot to the bum to the bass. Bum to the boot to the bum to the boot to the bum to the bass. Bum to the boot to the. Your body, work your body, work your body, work your body. Push it in. What about now? It's time to rock with the biggity rock bumper. What about now? It's time to rock with the biggity rock bumper. Bum to the boot to the bum to the bass. Bum to the boot to the bumper. Bum to the boot to the bum to the bass. Bum to the boot to the bumper. Bum to the boot to the bum to the bass. Bum to the boot to the bumper. Bum to the boot to the bum to the bass. Bum to the boot to the bumper. Bump to the boot to the boot to the boot boot. Bump to the bass bass. Bump to the boot to the boot to the boot. Bump to the bass bass bass. Phenomenal, phenomenal, phenomenal mission. Phenomenal mission. Man, the whole of them. Phenomenal, phenomenal, phenomenal mission. Phenomenal mission. Man, the whole of them. Bum to the boot to the bum to the bass. Bum to the boot to the bum to the boot to the bum to the bass. Bum to the boot to the bum to the boot to the bum to the bass. Bum to the boot to the Bum to the boot to the bum to the bass. Bum to the boot to the bumper. What about now? It's time to rock with the biggity back bumper. What about now? It's time to rock with the biggity back bumper. Bum to the bum to the bum to the bass. Bum to the bum to the bumper. Bum to the bum to the bum to the bass. Bum to the bum to the bumper. Bum to the bum to the bum to the bass. Bum to the bum to the bumper. Bum to the bum to the bum to the bass. Bum to the bum to the bumper. Bump to the boot to the boot to the boot boot. Bump to the bass to the bass bass. Bump to the boot to the boot to the boot. Bump to the bass to the bass bass. Bum to the boot to the bum to the bass. Bum to the boot to the bum to the boot to the bum to the bass. Bum to the boot to the bum to the boot to the bum to the bass. Bum to the boot to the bum to the boot to the bum to the bass. Bum to the boot to the bumper.
Stands for the protection of the players and fans, and in the spirit of good sportsmanship, the National Basketball Association requests that you refrain from throwing any objects at participants or onto the court.
What about now? It's time to rock with the biggity back bumper. What about now? It's time to rock with the biggity back bumper. Bum to the bum to the bum to the bass. Bum to the bum to the bumper. Bum to the bum to the bum to the bass. Bum to the bum to the bumper. Bum to the bum to the bum to the bass. Bum to the bum to the bumper. Bum to the bum to the bum to the bass. Bum to the bum to the bumper. Bump to the boot to the boot to the boot boot. Bump to the bass to the bass bass. Bump to the boot to the boot to the boot. Bump to the bass to the bass bass. Bump to the boot to the bum to the bass. Bump to the boot to the bum to the boot to the bum to the bass. Bum to the boot to the bum to the boot to the bum to the bass. Bum to the boot to the bum to the boot to the bum to the bass. Bum to the boot to the bumper. What about now? It's time to rock with the biggity back bumper. What about now? It's time to rock with the biggity back bumper. Bump.
And we are back with the video game news. Jeff Grubb, take it away after this segment music. Segment music is going. Jeff Grubb news. Buzz.
Oh yeah, we got a bunch of headlines here. Let's start with this one. PlayStation 5 gets another steep price increase in Japan. Sony has announced another price increase for the PlayStation 5 in Japan. Effective September 2nd, the standard PS5 console will cost 79,980 yen, which is equivalent right now to about $550. That is a $90 increase, essentially. While the digital edition will cost $505, that is also up $90. Other accessories, including DualSense controllers and the PlayStation Portal, will also see price hikes. This is not the first price increase for the PS5 in Japan, with Sony citing challenging economic conditions as the reason. The latest quarterly financial figures showed a decline in hardware sales compared to the previous year.
Doing this is good, right? You want to do this?
Yeah, this is a sign that everything's going really well.
I don't know math or business good, right? I have terrible credit score. I'm in insurmountable debt.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they want to sell more, why make it more costly?
Yeah, you don't if that's your goal, right? So then what's the goal? To make more money from the people you know are going to buy the system. Also, they have the PS5 Pro coming out soon, so this sets the stage for that to be even more expensive.
I think backwards.
Yeah, I think the PS5 Pro. This confirms to me like that thing's probably going to be at least $600. And they want to. Yeah, what do you think?
Should we start a poll? I think I'm going to say $699.
I think that's not out of the question.
So yeah,
man, it just sounds wild when you say it like that. I know there's like reasons, and like I should believe you, but I just have a hard time believing
I think it could be $600 in the United States and essentially $700 everywhere else, including like what that means for the markup in places like Australia and Canada. Oh. So add your $150 on top of that, or whatever it is. So
nar. Sorry.
Yeah.
No. What will Raygun play?
My PS5.
My PS5. No.
PS4.
God, they love it.
Guys, that's not funny. That's come on.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, we're not speaking English, and I know it makes you mad.
Okay, real quick. I mentioned this in our little Discord, but I was at Disneyland, and someone walks by me, points, smiles, and yells, "English!"
God,
and it was great.
So good.
It was great. Anyway, please.
I can get anything over, brother.
You get hatred over. Let's do it.
That's me.
Yeah. So someone chat's asking, why aren't prices going down for console? Why aren't they treating these things as loss leaders anymore? And I think it's because they understand the audience and they are looking for growth. And they realize they can't get growth by selling consoles to new people. Not really. The new people have shown up. They showed up during the pandemic, and now like all of those people that might have like come into the industry right now to buy console, they're just not out there. Console sales are down for everybody year over year, and like not just down a little bit. It's down a lot, like 30 to 40% month after month for both Xbox and PlayStation. And then of course Switch is in a different scenario because it's at the end of its life. As things are going, it's fucking dead.
Like it's sad.
It's dying in front of your eyes, and you're not doing anything to save it. Why aren't you doing that?
On it.
Yeah. I mean, it's as simple as they want to get more money from us. They want to set the stage for not just the PS5 Pro, but for PS6 a couple years from now, where that thing could easily be $700. And also the yen still very low compared to the dollar. So when they're selling things in Japan, they're not making as much money as they make when they sell these things in other countries. So there's just a lot of factors there. But everyone's looking around, be like, hey, why wouldn't you just reduce the price to sell more consoles? And they aren't interested in that because they don't think that's going to make a difference.
They're boiling the frog, right? Like for people that haven't jumped in yet, they're slowly turning up the heat, and it's like you got to get in because we're not going down.
Yeah, and
if you're, so
they're also noticing that like, oh, that frog's gonna wake up here in a second and realize what's happening because inflation is about to be like, is going out the door here pretty soon. They're going to start cutting interest rates like that. They've announced they're going to start cutting interest rates in the United States. So money's going to be a little bit easier to come by, and people are going to feel a little bit less like, oh, of course everything's expensive. And they're going to start asking, wait, why is this in particular so expensive? Shouldn't it be getting cheaper? Right. So this is very much the last minute to pull the Band-Aid off on this stuff. And of course, every market's different. Japan, in terms of its inflation stuff, isn't quite as high as some other countries, but it has other issues. Yeah, I don't know. When I see this, I guess I'm still shocked by it. But like with all the factors laid out like that, it's like, okay, I guess they're going to keep doing this. But this is just where consoles are at. Like I don't think suddenly we get to the next generation and things go back to normal and we start seeing a lot of price cuts. I think like we know that we got if in a world where PC gaming has been getting so much better and sort of like you can expect to get most of the games you want to get, and people still are choosing consoles over PC, I think they're like, we know we have an audience that doesn't really have another choice, because what are they going to do? Go to Xbox? We know our audience is not going to do that. And if they clearly aren't going to PC, so they're going to keep buying these things. So we need to tell them, well, we know what you're willing to pay, and we are actually going to start charging you for it.
This is something that I don't get. Why is there not a box that goes under your television that just runs Windows? That is $600.
Yeah,
someone like Microsoft should make this box.
That sounds like what their next system might be, but I think it'll be more expensive than $600. But
but like, I don't understand, because that's what I distinctly remember being in college and having this huge idea, and I was like, it's insane that you can't walk into Best Buy and buy a computer that Microsoft makes that runs Xbox games and runs Photoshop.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense to me from like a perspective where you're like, oh, okay, well, if I just put this one thing on my desk, it'll do all of it. And that's what a PC is, but like at a cost that is like
and an experience that is not optimized for what you're talking about. As much as I like using my PC on the TV, what we're talking about is the Steam Deckification of a home PC. And I think we're about to get there. I think all these companies realize that there's more of an appetite for that. And as these consoles become more like PCs, you might as well be in that space, because then they can play their Steam games, and maybe people choose your hardware if they have more access to that stuff, and it just works. But Windows is far away from being a very comfortable user experience for when you're sitting on the couch. It's real rough stuff. Even like when I have it set up to be pretty close to what I want, every time I got to pick out the mouse and keyboard or the combined mouse and keyboard wireless thing I have, it's
annoying.
God damn it, I hate this. Yep.
If only there was some sort of maybe like 8th Windows version, right? And then in this 8th Windows version, you could like say it's like inspired by like Metro, something like that.
A Metropolitan OS,
yes. Yeah, and it's kind of like got tiles, and those tiles would be pretty easy to navigate if you had like a D-pad or a stick.
Okay.
And if you were to press A, and then like it would kind of assume that there was no keyboard and mouse attached. Maybe kind of designed for touch or some other kind of input.
Of course, if they did this work, they would never give it up. But like, they just haven't done it yet.
And if you handed one of these devices to an NFL coach, they'll spike it on the site.
Oh my God.
Windows Surface devices are out there. Everybody go get yours right now in stores. Yep. So $505 for the digital version. That is, that's quite a bit more than what this thing launched at. So a $90 price increase. I don't think this is going to be everywhere. Japan is kind of a specific case, but and I think they've already done a lot of price increases in a lot of places. But PS5 Pro is imminent. We'll see what the price is going to be for that everywhere here soon, I think. Speaking of that, PlayStation State of Play broadcast could happen next month. It's claimed. I get this news from VGC, which gets the news from me. Sony might hold a State of Play presentation by the end of September, showcasing third-party titles and indies, possibly including a PlayStation 5 Pro announcement. The last State of Play in May featured titles like Astrobot, Concord, and Dynasty Warriors Origins. I've heard that there's going to be a State of Play probably the week of the 24th, 25th, 26th, in that range, end of September. I've also continued to hear the PS5 Pro is still coming out this year. And that would put it right before Tokyo Game Show, right? Because we said that was the 28th, Jam, when we looked that up the other day.
26th to 29th, I believe.
Okay, right.
And the other day was earlier today.
Right. Yes, exactly. So, holy crap, that's upsetting to me, actually. But I think, that's all. That sounds right. That PS5 Pro is coming out this year. Maybe announce it at the State of Play. It could get announced before that, and then they reveal more stuff at the State of Play. But was anyone hoping for a showcase? Because I know a lot of people are kind of bummed out that it might be a State of Play.
I get why people are bummed out, because we haven't heard much from PlayStation this summer compared to some other companies. But it's just they don't have as much to really talk about. It's just not kind of a year for big showcases. Mm-hmm. Doing another State of Play does make more sense right now. You do have coming. You talk about the PlayStation 5 Pro, which I'm very interested to see how they position that, right? Because it sounds like what we're hearing about, the kind of improvements that it's going to have are going to maybe be nice, but not earth-shattering necessarily. So I want to see, I'm curious, what exactly is the elevator pitch on this machine? Or is it just it's got the word Pro on it?
You want to hear it?
Better.
Yeah.
It's black, and that's it.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
This one's gonna be black, like a PlayStation 2, and they're gonna be like, "Wow, can you believe it? It's as big as the PS." They made a slim one of these, right?
Yes, slimmer.
Slimmer, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, not exactly slim, but it's almost more svelte.
Will they sell me one that doesn't look like shit? Because I'll buy that.
Okay. Don't make an enemy out of me. That's gonna be my weird hill to die on. Is that the PlayStation 5 is beautiful? Actually,
beautiful.
Yes, I think it's the best.
I like it, but I don't agree with them on that. I think it's ugly in a very fun and interesting way, and I like it.
No, it's not ironic.
I think it requires a lot of gall to over design a box that is designed to not be seen.
It's definitely an affront to design. Yes.
Yeah. For that, and that way, I do respect the PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
It barely fits in my entertainment console.
I know the thing sitting behind my monitor is the ugliest thing I've ever seen in my life. It's just great. It's really fun.
Anything else we want to see from like a state of play? Any like hopes, it doesn't feel like a state of play we even get like Ghost of Tsushima 2's coming out in late 2025 or something like that. No. Probably not.
Remember that Soul Reaver collection thing that was maybe
what's Soul Reaver?
Legacy of Kain.
I think Mike, I think we discovered what that was. That it's a cartridge for the Evercade like handheld thing.
Oh, that's all that was.
Yeah. I think it might be all that is.
Then never mind.
Yeah,
I have 5 words of what I want to see at the
Knack 3, Knack 3, Knack 3.
Yeah, that's right. It's 45 minutes of Concord.
45 minutes of Concord. Yeah,
the relaunch of Concord is upon us.
Yeah.
How fast do they just? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I just want to see. Hey, by the way, like a few weeks ago, we released this game.
Yeah.
How fast are they pulling the cord on that completely? Like
they gotta try for the rest of the year at least.
Try. Yeah.
Yeah. I think
that episode coming out on that TV show.
That's it. I think they. Here's if I were to wager, they will play it by ear until that episode of the TV show comes out. They will then be like, the game's free to play. If you spent $40 on it, you get, I don't know, 100 skins or whatever. Sorry for spending $40 on it.
Yeah, it's like when you bought the 3DS early.
Yes, exactly.
Ambassador program.
Yeah, they'll give you a gun that kills people in one hit or something.
And you can play Yoshi's Island for some reason.
Yeah. And then,
if you're one of the weirdos, I'm sorry, we'll take the pronouns out.
We love hate.
Oh, they should lead into it. The anti-woke edition.
The anti-woke edition.
They should.
That would actually be funny.
And then by this time next year, the game's off. So
yeah. I mean,
and then that episode of Love, what's it called?
Love Actually.
Secret Level.
Secret Level. That episode is just really confusing. It's just real confusing.
They Men in Black us about the game. We never even remember Concord existed, but the episode's still there.
This is original.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We made that for this.
Yeah, this is our OC. Here, check this out. Yeah, we'll see. State of play. Set your expectations appropriately. I've heard state of play. It could always change. Maybe it is a showcase, but usually when I hear from sources like this, they're usually pretty on point. Last time when I was like unsure, I had heard about it before. I had heard from some more reliable sources, and this time I'm pretty sure this is just a state of play. And then, PS5 Pro could be there, could be before, could be after. Who knows? But that thing apparently still coming out this year. Crash Bandicoot 5 was canceled in favor of live service games, it's claimed. Woo! Yeah!
Wow. Crash,
that's awesome.
That Crash Bash Rumble really probably brought in the money, huh?
I think that game shut down too. Crash Bandicoot 5 was in early development at Toys for Bob, but was canceled. Activision pulled funding for single-player titles in favor of live service multiplayer games. Crash Bandicoot
plural is games plural. What do you mean? Call of Duty?
Call of Duty. Well, there's multiple Call of Duties. Crash Bandicoot 4. It's about time sales. What were considered muted by Activision. Not even bad, but muted because they were pretty good actually.
Pretty good for that.
I was to say they're pretty good for Crash Bandicoot. Yeah.
Right. I mean, it didn't do the trilogy numbers, which was massive, huge.
Right.
But they had to realize that was a bit of an anomaly because it was a really good value proposition. It was those 3 games. Like, there's things going on there, and then I guess they thought like, we're going to build on that with 4. It's going to sell even better than that, which was maybe naive.
Yes, exactly. Toys for Bob conceptualized a multiplayer Crash title, but pivoted to a single-player entry, resulting in Crash Bandicoot 4. After Crash Bandicoot 4's release, a small team at Toys for Bob began envisioning Crash Bandicoot 5 as a single-player 3D platformer. Alleged concept art and story concepts include a school for villainous children and a team-up with Spyro. The report's claims align with previous statements from a former Toys for Bob artist. Yeah, so this was going to be a multiverse game, Mike. You would have loved that. But honestly,
sure.
Teaming up with Spyro sounds incredible and would have probably been the huge hit that they were hoping Crash 4 was going to be. And Crash 4 is a good game, so they would have nailed it. Yeah, it sounds good.
School for Villainous Children is hilarious. An adult Bandicoot just like farming like evil kids,
just killing baby Hitlers. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Crash Bandicoot would go back in time and choke out baby Hitler.
Oh,
Hell yeah.
100%.
When y'all say that Crash sold well, does that mean it made its money back?
I think it did more than make its money
Okay,
back.
so then if you're a company, I fundamentally don't get it. Your job to make money. You want to make money. You spend money to make money, right? John, you're shaking your head no.
You're talking about like if you and I were building a company.
Right.
We're not, no, really, we're not like we're talking about a different thing. We're talking about people that are like, it's not just make profit on thing, it is make an unbelievably obscene amount of profit on thing and then do it again, but then 10 times that. Like it's a fundamentally broken idea. And so when something doesn't even remotely get there, they scrap it.
Right. The motivations are just out of whack, right? When we show up to the table with these companies and we say, hey, we got money. What are you going to make for us that's going to get this money away from it? We don't want to spend too much of it, so it better be good. What we're saying there is we want you to make video games. And they're like, well, we don't want to make video games. We just want to make money. Like that is our explicit legally obligated motivation is for us to just make money. Everything else is just secondary, whatever. So anytime they think about, we have to make this game. They don't think that way. It is just invest in the thing that is like when we spend $1, we see the most return, and that is Call of Duty for them over and over and over. So
Crash Bandicoot 4 sold 5 million copies. That's
crazy.
Yes, that's so good.
Huge.
Right. Yeah. And like that has to be, I know that you see other games that can manage to sell 40 million or whatever, and that's
Animal
such an
Crossing,
anomaly.
Come on, yeah.
Any game that you are making, you have to be able to live in a world where 5 million is a huge success, and the fact that can't be enough to get a sequel made.
It's got to be one of the best-selling Crash games. It's got to be one of the best-selling 3D platformers. It's not Mario of all time. It's crazy that's not good enough. So that's where we're at.
We should have listened to Jessie J back in 2010.
What'd she say?
It's not about the price tags.
Who's that?
It's not about the money.
She was that era.
We don't need your money.
I know that song. Not about
we just want to make the world dance.
Yeah.
Forget about the price tags. Ain't about the cha-ching cha-ching. Ain't about the
cha-ching. Yeah, I remember that.
It is. Yeah, brother.
And you don't know Chapel Roan?
Give him time. He's going to be the biggest Chaperone fan out of all of us. Give it time.
That's the one I can't remember.
I think he'd also like Charlie. I don't know.
And
I think no XCX. I think Charlie XCX might be too
much.
Gross. But unfortunately.
Mike, do you remember when Nintendo announced Nintendo World and there was a lady that came out and sang that Super Mario Brothers remix song?
No.
Okay, well that was Charlie XCX.
Cool. Okay.
Never mind. A quick correction, maybe Sean says the logos for the Blood Omen Soul Reaver collection, it was different on the Evercade one than what was leaked at Gamescom.
I'm in business.
I'm like choosing to believe it's the Evercade thing, so I don't want to get people's hopes up but he's right. So maybe we'll see something still.
I hope we get at least a few old plates. We got some nice compilations of the Nintendo thing. Give me a few PS1 collections or remasters or remakes. I'm not expecting to see Final Fantasy Tactics or that Final Fantasy 9 remake to finally show up. Give me something.
Look at a Rayman collection out.
Yeah.
Rayman 2 is great. Yeah, more people should play Rayman 2.
Square Enix's Foam Stars, the Concord of its day, is officially going free to play in October. Foam Stars, a Square Enix game previously sold for $30 on the PlayStation Store, will become free to play for all users beginning October 4th. Excuse me. Is this the time to get in on Foam Stars?
Nope.
No.
Yeah.
Arrivederci, Foam Stars.
Hey, Foam Stars, though, seemed like it did better than Concord ever did, right?
Low bar, though, huh?
Yeah.
Sure did.
Wow.
Literally the lowest bar. It doesn't get lower than Concord.
Did Foam Stars have pronouns? Make you think.
Yeah, good point. Yeah. There was pink and foam, though, so...
Damn. You're right. That is pretty gay.
I'm so glad you're here to say it. Thank you. I don't think this is going to change the fate of anything. No one's really going around being, well, some people are saying it. Just make Concord free to play. That doesn't.
No,
really,
that doesn't solve every problem.
No,
it doesn't solve any problem with Concord, it feels like. I don't know.
What if they added paint to Concord?
Okay.
Okay.
And then the character's going to turn into squids.
No, add paint and then give you a power washer and Shrek.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're not there yet. Almost there. That's the 2 stories away. Actually, speaking of that was in the Nintendo Direct today and the Indie World Showcase, actually, which they did together. One of the things in there was Balatro is getting The Witcher, Vampire Survivors, Among Us, and Dave the Diver decks. Balatro is receiving a series of, I'm going to say it both ways, of DLC collaboration decks, including The Witcher, Vampire Survivors, Among Us, and Dave the Diver. The free update is available today on all platforms. This seems like a pretty interesting way of doing it. Now, do we know? I was kind of looking at the crossovers and not seeing if there was mechanics there, but all the different decks in the game are have different mechanics. So, do you think they're just applying thematically appropriate mechanics for each deck, or I don't know.
I'm assuming that at least each deck will introduce a handful of jokers that represent their game.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah,
because I don't know how do you adapt
modifiers.
Yeah, how do you adapt Among Us in a single player game?
You have to swipe every single card.
Well, with Among Us specifically, it looked like there was a lot of extra glass cards or something, which makes sense because people get eliminated those, right? Okay. So I think they're gonna figure it out. It's gonna be thematically consistent.
Chat is saying that it's just skins.
Is it just skins? Oh, never mind. Fuck me then.
That's free.
That was this year.
No,
still maybe game of the year.
Yeah, but that was this calendar year is when this.
Well, it is August now. I guess we're pretty far into this bitch.
It does feel like January was just there for me though, so I'm that game just came out.
Remember when we started this year and I said I was going to get super into poker, and then this game happened?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this game happened, Jan.
Yeah,
manifesting.
Jansen.
Power Wash Simulator is getting Shrek DLC because it's 2024, and you could just say anything. You could just say anything, and it could be true. Power Wash Simulator is getting Shrek DLC. The game will receive a paid DLC pack that includes 5 levels. The DLC pack will be released later this year. Levels include Shrek's Swamp, which has been covered in colorful paint. A night costume will also be made available for players based on the knights from the film series. I figured. And then the previous Power Wash Simulator DLC includes SpongeBob SquarePants and Back to the Future. I might play that with my kids. I didn't realize there was a SpongeBob DLC. That'd be fun.
They got Squidward?
I think they might have Squidward. He would be good because he's always working so hard at the Krusty Krab. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Shrek perverts that I know who are going to be amped about this.
Very psyched. Yeah.
Hey, Jay, did your microphone fall off again?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it did. It did.
To let everyone know, Bacalar already did say he could order a new mic arm.
It's not gonna get here by the time we said that.
No, yeah, of course not. Yeah, that was just this morning. I think he said that, or maybe yesterday. Again, I'm placing time. I don't know when it was. But it's on its way, everybody. Don't worry about Jan. He'll be okay. All right, a few more stories here. Digital Eclipse is releasing a Tetris collection called Tetris Forever. It's going to have 15 Tetris games from throughout the series' history, including the NES Tetris, Tetris 2 plus Bombless, Tetris Battle Gaiden, Hatris, Super Bombless. There's a whole bunch in there. They don't have
fucking saying.
I'm saying Bombless. Tetris with bombs. Wario's Woods.
What is Hatris?
It's Hat Tetris. It's not wet Tetris like Wectrix, all right?
Yeah,
and it's not
Wectrix.
And it's not spherical Tetris like Tetrasphere.
Yeah.
So I understand being confused by those, Nikki. But Tetris with hats, that's throwing you off.
Come on, Nikki.
Okay,
you're losing it.
So Tetris, I just want to be really clear.
Yeah.
Tetris 2 plus Bombless and Super Tetris 2 plus Bombless different games.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is there a Super Tetris 3 plus Bombless?
Is there any way you could stop asking stupid questions?
No. Is there just Bombless?
I think there's just Bombless,
but it's not in here.
But I don't know if maybe they always paired up Tetris with Bombless. There's Super Bombless.
Okay, wait,
and Super Bombless DX.
I'm starting to join Nikki's side. I can't keep track of any of this shit. What are these games? I don't remember these, actually. I don't think these were real at the time.
I played Wario's Woods, which I think he had bombs. I assume that that was just Bombless reskinned for Game Boy or whatever.
I don't think that's true. I think you just made it up in your head right now.
That's also possible. Yeah, what's actually interesting here is this is a gold master from Digital Eclipse, which means they're going to have a bunch of the documentary footage in there and historical documents, and it's going to tell the story of Tetris, and Alexei Pajitnov is involved in that stuff. So that's very
what
cool.
Excites me about this. You know, like a Tetris collection, cool. There's a lot of ways to play Tetris on Switch already. Right now, some very, very, very good ways with Tetris Effect and Tetris 99. But yeah, having that historical stuff here, that's great. And I'm also kind of glad, they've been doing these and it's great. And they've been doing some obscure ones, which is neat. But I'm like, yeah, maybe get the bag a little bit here. Go with Tetris. Get a bigger brand. That's going to be good.
Did y'all watch that movie on Apple?
No.
I did.
Is it good?
It's okay.
Is it as good as the BlackBerry movie?
No, BlackBerry movie is very good, I think. Tetris is a good watch. The best part about Tetris, the movie, is that they have Howard Lincoln, president of Nintendo of America, guy who was in courtrooms, very serious, sober man, running from Russian spies in Moscow, doing a car chase. It is incredible. I fucking popped so hard when I saw that. I'm like,
that's not based on any real thing.
No, not really. No, no.
I want to believe.
They might have missed their flight or something and had to go fast in Moscow.
God, like Howard Lincoln and that guy who used to wear the red bow tie or whatever.
The thing I recommend is Gaming Historian on YouTube's got a Tetris documentary that is incredible. Watch that first, and then you'll enjoy the Tetris movie that much more.
Oh, great. So, okay, cool. It's a cool double feature.
A good double feature. Eppies?
Eppies.
Ooh, here we go. Let's try one more time. Let's try one more time. Epic Mickey, or as I call them, Eppies for short. Rebrush demo is available now. A demo for Epic Mickey Rebrushed, Epi Mickey Rebrushed is now available on PC, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, and Nintendo Switch.
Grub.
VGC praised the demo for saying it significantly improves upon the original game. I'm going to try this out and see if I agree.
Yeah. I tried the demo for this on the Switch a couple months ago. They adapted the Wii controls perfectly fine to a regular standard controller.
Good.
Yes. I obviously I was really hyped for the original Epic Mickey back in the day, and I enjoyed it. Okay, was probably disappointed with it. So see that this game's getting a remaster because there are a lot of things you can kind of improve upon and maybe tighten up a bit. I'm excited to go back to it.
Warren Spector's Epic.
Spector. I made him ride Space Mountain with me at the preview event for this game. It was my first preview event ever. We had a good time.
Great.
And then they in the Nintendo Direct they had Castlevania Dominus Collection. Is that what it is?
Dominus. Somehow I guess that kind of sounds like DS. Dominus.
It starts with D and ends with S. Is that what they're going for?
And that must be what they're going for with the word Dominus.
What about Deluxe?
No. Spell Deluxe, Jan.
No, but it has the S sound is what I'm saying.
No, go ahead, spell Deluxe.
Look forward to the first annual Giant Bomb Spelling Bee later this week.
That's right. I'm playing this on my Steam Deck right now. They have adapted. Basically, it's laid out like you see it on an emulator. Like there's the DS screens, one on top of the other.
Silly. Okay.
And then, the game's over here. The one screen is over here. It's pretty cool, actually. The touch screens controls work really well for putting in I wrote my name. You're probably gonna have to use that to do the glyphs and stuff. But if you have a touchscreen device,
glyphs. Haters can suck it. I liked drawing those glyphs when I killed the bosses in Dawn of Sorrow. I thought it was neat. Hope you still get to tap the bricks in some of the levels too.
There's a lot of that stuff, especially in Dawn of Sorrow.
Dawn of Sorrow was early, so it had all that shit, and people were mad. And I was like, "Nah, this is cool."
Do you anything to blow over with the microphone?
Yeah. Oh God, there was that stuff in there. There was.
There
I
must
think.
be. I hope so.
I bet there's a button dedicated to that. There is, like, if you're like wanting to play this on a different console that doesn't have a touchscreen, or something along those lines, you can hold down right bumper and then I think use the right stick to mimic touchscreen control. So they'll still give you a way to do it. It'll be a little bit more cumbersome. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. There was also the Trails in the Sky remake, which this game was kind of like a 16-bit looking RPG.
This was
before,
a
right?
PSP game that was kind of pixels and stuff.
Right.
Kind of isometrically. Very, very good JRPG. One of
beloved
my favorites.
among that crowd.
Yes, beloved. So this remake announcement was a huge surprise. It looks very cool. Like at first, because we had like the smaller snippet in the North American one, it was hard to see what the battle system was like. There was a longer segment in the Japanese Direct, and it seems like it still has all that depth that the original had. I'm excited for this. If people haven't checked out Trails in the Sky and you like JRPGs, and gosh, this is going to be one to look out for. I think I'm super pumped.
This has always been a not guilty pleasure. What's it called?
Pile of shame, ashamed,
This is the only shame I feel.
That's it?
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay.
Nikki knows my other shame, though.
What's it like living clean, Jan?
It's not actually clean for me, buddy.
Jim, what's the acronym for Trails in the Sky?
Tits.
Oh.
That's true. Wow.
There's tits in this game? And then last story here. I was going to skip it, but I guess I'll do it. Capcom Fighting Collection 2 features 8 games, including Capcom versus SNK and Power Stone 1 and 2 online.
Power Stone 2 is the best video game Capcom's ever made. I'm really glad that they're putting it out again. I'm not kidding.
It's
really good.
I'm the fact like that again. I'm a sicko. I would have paid like $50, $60, just like, hey, we brought Power Stone 2 back finally. I'd be like, thank you
100%.
so much. Or same thing with Capcom versus SNK 2. The fact that they bundled in so many of these games and a lot of Dreamcast games with Project Justice and Plasma Sword also. The fact that we're getting some Dreamcast game compilations with all this other stuff here. Even the CVS games were pretty Dreamcast era.
CVS used to make games? The receipt people?
I'm more of a Walgreens game guy.
Yeah. Took me a second to catch up on that.
Power Stone, I only know about because John won't shut the fuck up about it. But like Mark of the Millennium. Sorry, let me read the whole title for you. Capcom versus SNK 2: Mark of the Millennium 2001.
Yeah, it's one of the best games ever. Yeah.
Not a real game.
That's one of the
maybe one of the realest games.
True Love Making.
Huh?
What?
That's the song from it. It's incredible.
Oh,
Capcom vs. SNK 2 is so smooth.
Okay, what is Plasma Sword Nightmare of Bill Shaw?
So, Capcom was going to make a Star Wars video game called back on like the PS1, and then they lost the license, so they released
Star Gladiator.
Yeah, so they released it anyways, and then this is the sequel to that.
Yes,
it's cool.
And it's very. There's an obvious Wookiee. There's a lot of like very obvious like Star Wars characters.
Obvious, like this is the Luke Skywalker and stuff like that. And I haven't actually played much of this one, so I'm excited to do that. Same thing with Project Justice. Even I kind of missed out on that at the time. Now there is still like some weird things here. Like we don't have that first Star Gladiator game. We have Project Justice, but we don't have Rival Schools, which is the first one in that duology. But there's other Capcom fighting games we still don't quite have yet, like Marvel's Capcom 3 or a.
Are the Street Fighter EX games in any of the collections?
They're not, but that's also like Capcom didn't develop those internally.
I know, that was that team that does like the Fighters EX or whatever.
So there's like a little weirdness there, but still at this point, I wouldn't be shocked if we get those one day also. But yeah, you can do those. And maybe those other the Rival Schools and Star Gladiator, and that can kind of be like your PS1 Capcom collection for sure.
I just had an idea.
Yeah.
Capcom should make a Capcom 5 collection, and then they put out the 5th one.
Grub literally said the same
Wait a minute.
thing.
On the Nintendo Direct, I literally said that this morning. Yes.
Grub said the same exact thing during the live talk.
Word for word.
Literally word for word with the whole, like, actually put up the last one here.
But that's what makes it a good idea. It's just manifesting inside all of us.
I want to play Piano 3 so bad.
Yeah. Didn't you buy that one? Didn't you spend a few dollars?
There. Yeah, it's over there.
All right. We'll
Speaking of buying
that.
things, I did buy Castlevania Order of Ecclesia, like physical recently, and it was pretty expensive, and that price is going to tank now, but that's okay.
Honestly, you know what this collection starts to feel like a little bit is an Itsuno collection, because it's got Alpha, it's got the Star Gladiator sequel. Is this the one that has Rival Schools on it, or has the sequel to Rival Schools?
Project Justice is the sequel to Rival Schools.
It's got Power Stone 1 and 2. He did those games, so a lot of good Itsuno stuff in this collection.
They also have Capcom Fighting Evolution, which was like a big disaster for them, but I'm kind of glad it's there anyways.
Yep. Yeah. Okay, I think that does it for the news. I felt like there was something else that came to mind, and I'm not remembering it. So you know what? I'm just gonna hand the show back over to you, Jan. If we think of it, we'll come back.
Oh, the Sonic the Hedgehog trailer for Sonic 3.
Yeah, it was Sonic 3. Yeah.
Live and learn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Woodchip says Concord. I mean, we kind of talked about that when we talked about some of this other stuff. It didn't sell to anybody. No one bought it.
Yeah.
And no one's playing it.
It's just upsetting.
Yeah.
It's just upsetting.
That's kind of where I'm at with it. And I've like talked about it a bunch, and I'm like hesitant to continue dancing on its grave, which I tried not to do at all. But I wasn't interested in that game. I didn't think that meant no one was interested in it. That's a weird thing to like sort of wake up and see the game's out and less than 700 people. Like the thing that really got me is it's peak concurrent players on Steam, which, you know, for all that's worth, but it's worth something. Its peak concurrent all time so far is lower than the peak concurrent players for Gollum.
Devastating, dude.
I don't know how else you put it in any other terms to make it feel good.
And it's I think the disturbing thing is the idea that a first party PlayStation game with like that much marketing at least behind it, like you can't force at least something there, like a bit more than that, right?
Yeah.
You know, we've kind of had conversations about this. Other people have said, like back in the day, you could just kind of release a game, and as long as you acted like it was a big deal, maybe do well enough. But people aren't just going into stores and seeing what's on the shelf these days, and they have an option of 10 things. There's a million things, including the game that you have been playing for the last 10 years. So what do you do?
Right.
I think this is when I was talking earlier about like we come to the table with money and would say, hey, make us games. And they're like, well, we just want to make money. I guess we'll make games if that means you'll give us money. But then when they do a project like this and no one buys it, I think there are long-term ramifications on the kinds of things that they spend money on. Like, and clearly right now we're at the end of a year where people are starting to feel very strapped for cash. Groceries are very expensive. There's a million reasons why the people are like saying, yeah, we will buy anything you put out. Yeah, spend enough money on it, spend enough marketing, get our attention, say it's from PlayStation. Yeah, there will be a baseline safety net of this many people will show up for it. And now that has gone away because people are like, actually, no, I need to like just cut back and I can't just buy anything that this company puts out. And I think that's the company's going to turn and be like, okay, and therefore we are going to stop greenlighting this kind of game, this kind of game, this kind of game. And maybe that means they turn back to stuff that is the kinds of games that most people seem to want, which at least in our orbit, which is single player narrative driven games. But they were getting scared of investing in those just a couple years ago. So they're just going to volley back and forth between those two states. I don't know.
You think they're going to have the self awareness to be like, hey, like we went to these live service games because we didn't have faith in the other thing. Do we just flip flop back and forth forever here, or do we kind of have to figure something else out?
Something in between, perhaps. Yeah. Maybe multiple medium size.
Maybe a temporal pincer movement in game development.
I think this came up because of Concord, but it's like, we're talking about the stuff that Nintendo does, right? Make a game that sells a lot and doesn't cost a lot. And I feel like if Sony could have done that by now, they would have done it. But maybe have they really tried? I guess I don't know. Maybe they haven't really tried.
And then they shut down this studio that would have been Japan studio, right? That would have been the most suited to
100%
guide them in that direction.
Yep.
And so, like, I don't know. It's tough.
Yep. Yeah, Jim Ryan got up. The game was good. I say it all the time, but it's like
nobody knew more. He read those tea leaves like he was reading the fucking Bible.
It's like, hey, here, you guys go make those live service games. That's gonna solve it for you. I succeeded. Victory lap. PS5, PS4, peace. And people are like, no, he got kicked out. I'm like, no, he just left because he knew where things were headed.
That's
and how
a great
difficult
analogy.
this would be.
That's a great analogy, Nikki. He also made the tea leaves.
Yeah.
He grew them in his own garden.
Yeah,
and then
here's
he was
some
like,
dregs for you.
Damn, all right. Bye.
Yeah, he used foresight. He's a tactical breach wizard. Jim Ryan.
Yep.
All right.
We're gonna show Jan. Take it over.
We're going to take a quick break. We're done with the news. I'm just thinking about Jim Ryan now in Concord, and I'm just upset. The only thing to fix that is to read some emails after this break. See you in a bit.
What about now? It's time to rock with the biggity rock bumper. What about now? It's time to rock with the biggity rock bumper. Bum to the bum to the bum down bass. Bum to the bum to the bumper. Bum to the bum to the bum down bass. Bum to the bum to the bumper. Bum to the bum to the bum down bass. Bum to the bum to the bumper. Bum to the bum to the bum down bass. Bum to the bum to the bum.
These are the emails for the show. Emails. Bombcast@giantbomb.com is the email address to send your emails to. I read everything. I enjoy everything. Thank you for sending them in. You can write in.
There's no way you enjoy everything you get on that address.
There's a couple newsletters people have signed us up for. I'm like,
right.
Have you gotten signed up for a knife defense tutorial like I did to John one time?
No, but I'd enjoy that, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know if I get those anymore. It was at my Fanbyte address. Anyway.
Sorry, Kyle.
Sorry, Kyle.
You guys ever think about that Tommy Lee Jones, Benicio del Toro knife fighting movie?
What?
No.
Yes, I do.
No.
Thank you, John. There's a scene in The Sopranos where AJ is working at a video store and he's arguing about that movie with his buddy about the best way to hold a knife. And I'm like, God, that's so... I've been in that conversation and I'm so embarrassed that they know that. And they're showing it to me in this TV show, The Sopranos.
It's amazing.
Write in about
Hunted. Thank you, chat. Hunted. Sorry.
Write in about virtually any and everything. You want a quiz? You got a question about the industry? You got anything? If it's something nice specifically towards a member of the crew, I will generally forward it to them. And it's always nice to have a little compliment. Love compliments.
I've never gotten one. Weird.
Oh shit. First email comes from Paul from Australia. Hello. I noticed when you were drinking from water and Coke bottles on the recent Bombcast video from Gamescom, you seemed to open the lid by twisting it and then leave the lid partially attached and leave it open. Is this a special water bottle or a special skill you have? Whenever I open a bottle, the first turn completely severs the connection between the lid and the little plastic circle at the bottom of it. Maybe I just don't know my own strength. Paul from Australia.
This is so exciting because this is just the way bottles in Europe work now. And like all of us, the first one, we're like, oh, our bottle thing didn't work. It's still kind of attached there. That's weird. And then the second one was like it. And we're like, oh, this is like a feature. And at first you're like, this is the cap's in the way. And then you're like, oh, I'm never going to lose my cap again. It's just still attached to the thing here. Okay. It's kind of nice. I bet there's a lot less cap litter going on, right?
No cap.
Yeah, there's no cap. So I'm kind of in favor of it. I think it was pretty good.
How frequently are you losing the cap to a bottle?
Yeah, I don't know. Really?
So often. Oh, wow. Yeah. I drink a lot of things that have caps on them.
Okay.
I don't lose it too frequently these days because that's like I'm pretty like the thing I hate more than just dropping things is things spilling. So I'm very militant about keeping the cap.
Right.
But I have kids. And they lose they get the cap and they just throw it into orbit and it's never seen again. So It would be nice to have that. I did see a video of someone doing that, and I'm like, is that a special skill someone's doing? And so to hear you come back and say, no, this is a thing that's just a Euro thing, then I'm like, oh, okay, fantastic. Maybe we'll get that soon.
I wonder if we'll get it, or if it's one of those things that because it's different, it'll be like that the Sun Chips bag.
Sun Chips bag. Yeah.
People will not accept it.
That bitch was loud. Let's be real, all right?
Someone clip that and use it out of
Loud
context,
bag.
Okay. If we fucking had these bottles in America, I could just get and reseal my stupid soda bottles whenever I watch a game or a concert at the Chase Center here in San Francisco, and they don't have to pour out my soda into a separate cup. We'd be saving.
That's venue to venue, though. I was in San Diego last week or over the weekend, and which, by the way, Snapdragon Stadium is the most hostile building I think I've ever been to in my entire life. There's no shade in the entire building. It's a soccer stadium. It seats like 28,000 people. There's no shade in the whole building. The building is angled the wrong way, so the entirety of the time when the sun is up, it goes the width of the stadium. Like the whole time it's baking.
They would never do that with the NFL because they consider that shit so deeply because they have the money and like the political power to pull it off. Soccer in America doesn't have that same.
So nuts to me.
Yeah.
But they were giving out metal bottles for water. I was shocked. I was like, from a safety perspective, it would be really easy to fill this bad boy up and throw that bad boy right on the pitch. It's crazy. They gave you the lid and everything. They let you keep the lid.
That's just got to be like a. Why wouldn't they just put it in? I guess it's a plastic cup, and you can actually recycle metal, and recycling plastic was a lie that they told us for years. So, yeah.
Next email comes from Tegan in Vermont. Hey, gang. I recently had a revelation that I love games that have densely packed worlds that become familiar over time. Whether it's learning a level through repetition or just uncovering nooks and crannies through exploration, I find it super rewarding to spend a lot of time in one detailed space. Some examples of my favorites are Clocktown in Majora's Mask, Kamurocho in Yakuza, any level in Hitman, The City in Crazy Taxi, and on a more bite-sized scale, any level in Tony Hawk. Would love to hear other games that come to mind for you. Thanks. Love the show. Tegan from Vermont.
Jesus, shit.
Yeah, what? I think Mario Odyssey kind of scratches a similar itch for me, I think. Right? Like those levels are like, they're big, but they're not so big that like there's kind of these big empty spaces. Some of them are bigger than others, but they're very densely packed. When you kind of start running around or like other playthroughs, you're doing things like I got like, 5 moons in a row because I know exactly where everything is. And I know that this shiny bird is going to pop up here at this moment. I'm going to flip my hat up, right? Like not speed running, but you're almost doing adjacent stuff just from that kind of Groundhog Day effect of it.
Yeah. I think, and I mean, like, obviously Animal Crossing is a great example of this. I think it's really great when you go into someone else's Animal Crossing island, especially in New Horizons, and you're like, what the fuck? Where's,
right.
Yeah,
where's all your stuff? Why is your store over here? Yeah. Why'd you do that? It's supposed to be over in this quadrant. And that's great because it gives you that it gives you this similar familiarity that you get with these locations that Tegan listed, but then also it is localized to you. So it feels home but different,
Yeah.
I knew I was trying to think of an example, and I was like, the Hitman came to mind first. I was like, oh, damn, he said that. That was going to be my answer to this email. But I'm like, I know there's another one in my mind that I was just thinking, hey, this is like a city block or two. And I'm like, oh, yeah, a Disco Elysium. I've been playing that recently. Yeah, sure. And that is just like a pretty confined space, pretty dense. You definitely learn it. You learn how, oh, there's an entrance here and an exit. Oh, so I can go all the way through and get to make a little shortcut over there. And like, oh, I opened up this new space. Now I'm exploring that. So yeah, Disco Elysium does that very well.
Yokosuka in Shenmue. I'm a big Shenmue pervert.
Yeah.
So those that entire first shut up. That entire first game is that for me big time.
Jumping off of Tony Hawk, I guess portions of the city in Skate 3, like I'd remember like,
dude, yeah.
Like this is the good ledge right here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, like this, like being able to like drop a pin down facing the correct direction so that when you reset to get the line because you know that zone like the back of your head, like, yeah, absolutely.
Tiny Terry's Turbo Trip was like a small open world, and I like these small open world games where it's like, oh yeah, I've already learned where everything is. That's great.
Next email comes from Troy from Colorado. I was listening to the Nextlander podcast over the weekend, and Rob Zachney was on and brought up an interesting thought. When discussing the discless Xbox Series X, Rob said that Microsoft should lean into physical media crowd instead of running towards all digital as a way to differentiate themselves. I hadn't really considered this an option, but the more I thought about it, I thought it was a great idea for Microsoft in particular. What do you guys think of this tactic? What would it look like? What if the next Xbox wasn't way more powerful, but instead could read any Xbox 360, One, and Series disc with full backwards compatibility? What if they just full catered to the sickos? It included full support like Saturn and Dreamcast games too. Troy from Colorado.
Hey, Troy, maybe these other guys will have like a fun answer for you, but my not fun answer is this sounds great and it'll never happen.
Yeah, I was going to say, Troy, this is insane. This is not going to happen.
Isn't there that new disc medium that like is several like zettabytes or petabytes on one disc or something like that just got invented?
It's called Sony Mini Disc, and you put them in a
right.
player.
It's the future, cool. I think. I don't know. That'd be cool if they like had that for the next system.
I would love this, but like you need to look at like weird third-party onboard emulation hardware perverts that are making stuff like this, but it's not going to be Microsoft that does it.
Right.
Yeah.
Also, I think broadly people are not going to, and this is like a dire statement that I'm about to say, people are not going to care about this until it is too late.
Right.
On the whole, like people are not going to care about or think about the fact that like they don't own any of their games until more of them start leaving
when you say people, you mean like a ton of people.
Yes. That's what I mean.
A lot of people are and Troy, you're probably having this panic right now, but like the average person.
Yeah. I mean, the average person
just
who's not
the panic. Yep.
Yeah. You had a nightmare. Oh, I wanted to tell you this. I had a nightmare the other day, Grub, that This is what sparked this. You had a nightmare that your game library was inaccessible, right?
Yes, and I'm all digital for many years now, and I suddenly had a nightmare that the world ended and I couldn't access my games.
Yeah, I had a similar. It was like similarly stupid nightmare where I was like, T-Mobile found out that I have unlimited data for $100 a month.
Oh my god! Nikki, stop.
And I was like, oh shit, they're gonna so they sent me a big bill. And I was like, oh no. That's why I asked that question on Twitter yesterday, how much data everybody's using on their phones every month.
Oh yeah, I did see that.
Hey, happy T-Mobile Tuesday, everyone.
Happy T-Mobile Tuesday to you and yours.
Tuesday, yeah.
Go get a free seat cushion.
Oh, sweet.
All right. Next email, still Xbox related. This one comes from Matt from Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Hey guys. Well, I didn't honestly expect an Xbox handheld to get announced at Gamescom. I did get my hopes up that after all the buzz earlier this year, we would have an official announcement within 2024. Do you still think an Xbox handheld is coming? I definitely hope so, and really do think so. It seems to me that the next Xbox could be handheld that has Game Pass and access to all the PC stuff. Could they make a dock that increases the power of the handheld for use on a TV, like an upgrade that isn't required to use, a premium option? I realize these things take a long time to develop, but with all the negative, parentheses, earned and unearned, and parentheses, attention surrounding Xbox right now, announcing this would be a huge win. Love to hear your thoughts. Matt from Murfreesboro.
Yeah, these things are coming. There's going to be probably a lot more than you're even thinking. There's going to be a ton of them. Yeah, and really, it's going to come down to, can they figure out the software and the over-the-top interface that goes on top of Windows for Xbox, and for PlayStation, can they like figure out like, oh, is it just going to be PS4 games or all PS5 games? What does that look like? And if it's not, do we have to make different versions for this thing? If they start getting down that road, which they won't, because Sony doesn't want to go down that road again after the PSP, the Vita, PSVR, PSVR 2, where they had to do that for all those things, and there's always diminishing returns. So there's questions to be figured out, but all these companies are thinking about this. There will be this variation of the Xbox going forward.
Next email comes from Anonymous. Hi, guys. Is Peter Molyneux the J.J. Abrams of video games? Overpromising and under-delivering? Thanks.
I love this question. J.J. Abrams is not even remotely in the ballpark of Peter Molyneux.
Yeah, it's very different.
J.J. Abrams isn't as fun as Peter Molyneux.
Yeah. No.
Francis Ford Coppola, someone who clearly has talent. Like Fable's a great game. Francis Ford Coppola has made amazing stuff. Megalopolis looks like a full-on weird disaster that is more in the vein of, I think, what Peter Molyneux has kind of done in the more recent
I think
years.
it's important because he was able to hire all those canceled actors.
And who else is doing that?
Actors, and doing weird, like, on-tape groping of people and stuff.
Sure.
Yeah. It's a really weird thing.
That's AI. That's just Hollywood trying to keep him down, I think. So.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't think it's JJ, but I love, like, the spirit of this question. Love it. I would love to figure out, like, who in the film space is kind of the Molyneux.
Yeah.
How do people feel about Super 8 these days? People think about that one anymore?
I think about Super 8 quite frequently.
The film.
Oh. Yeah.
What's that? I like Star Trek Into Darkness. I'll say it. That was fine.
It's not really scary.
No, it's ET, right? It's his ET ripoff.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah. It's all right. Yeah. I like Super 8 better than most of his movies. I think Mission Impossible 3 rules.
Mission Impossible 3 does rule.
It's great.
That might be his best one.
I like Force Awakens, but then
I'm fine with Force Awakens.
Fine with Force Awakens.
Yeah.
That first Star Trek movie.
Molyneux hasn't made anything that I would consider like the worst thing in the medium. But J.J. Abrams has.
Did you? But you forgot about his blockchain game is the problem.
I did. So did everyone.
Well, that's his episode 9.
Fable the Ride. Fable 3 was bad.
Fable 3 was pretty bad.
Ride.
Yeah, but Fable the Ride or whatever the hell it was called, right?
You know what? Maybe I'm talking myself into this being the right comparison.
Yeah, maybe it actually works better. Godus, that just didn't happen. Nothing happened with Godus. Nothing went on there.
That's his Portal movie.
But JJ never made Curiosity What's in the Cube.
That's right, and I clicked on that cube a whole bunch of times. So that makes it inherently good.
God, we're all so lucky we didn't win that. It sounds like it was a major headache to have won Curiosity.
You ended up owing money to Peter Molyneux.
It happened to me. I won the cube game.
And then you caught meningitis.
Oh no!
That was the shock. There was actually only one loser. That's why it's fun for everybody.
Here's a rare disease.
Yay!
Last 3 emails here. This comes from Alex in Bendigo, Australia. I would like the Australian saying, suffer in your jocks, to get more play internationally. Please do what you can to make this happen. Thank you, Alex in Bendigo, Australia.
No, I won't stand for it.
You're going to suffer in your jocks, huh?
I can just smell that sentence.
Ew. Now I'm suffering in my jocks.
See, you don't like it.
Is this wishing pain upon someone's genitalia? Is that what they're saying?
I think it's you're sweating.
Yeah, I don't think it's
suffering in your jocks. Where's the sweat involved?
Like,
I think it's just
you're quaking in your boots, kind of, you know?
Okay.
Yeah.
Do they say it in Bluey?
I can't understand anything they're saying on that show.
If they say it in Bluey, then I will accept it.
Mike Minotti watching Bluey yelling English at the same time.
I would never.
Perfect.
Okay. Next, second to last email comes from. Let's switch the order here. Ben. Hey, bombers. In episode 854, Dan said that if he had heard the children shushing him, he would have lectured them about not doing that to adults. I say nay. If you're being so inappropriate that children know better, you deserve to be shushed by them and feel shamed. Feeling that you cannot be corrected by kids is entitlement. Don't be a boomer, Dan. Change your ways. Thanks, Ben.
I feel like Dan would say, no, I'm older than them. I've earned it. I'm their elder. They have to respect me. Haven't you ever heard that before? Like, Dan would have a lot of arguments against this.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. I can't. Oh God, I can't believe I felt so much secondhand embarrassment 3 times on this trip. Last email of the show. I'm glad, Mike. Last email of the show comes from Travis in Fargo. Oh, shouts out to Fargo.
Fargo.
Hey.
Do you think human beings have any weird latent abilities that we don't know about yet?
Great question, Travis.
Man, that'd be amazing. What if we all can fly, but no one's figured it out yet?
You just haven't done it right.
what somebody does. Like, guys, this is just how you do it. It's like a TikTok or something. And then, like, tomorrow, everyone is flying. And it just really messes up with, like, because we made a world not designed for that, right? It's going to be a major problem if people could just start flying tomorrow.
I hate that I'm going to look out my window after the show is done and think, maybe Mike's right. Maybe Mike's right.
I mean, have you tried?
No. You know what? I'm going to go get a bunch of milk crates after this and then just jump off and see what happens.
You can make the TikTok. It'll be the most. Imagine how well that TikTok would do.
Yeah, the flying off the earth challenge. Here it is, everybody.
God. Oh, man. There's going to be like people that are adamant. It's like, no, we're not meant to fly. I'm never going to fly.
Yeah, like the people who like it takes longer to figure it out than others are going to get real self-conscious. It's going to be kind of.
It's going to be the exact same split of people who could see those 3D eye.
I was so good at those magic eyes.
Magic eye, yeah.
If there was
a see those, you're not going to be able to fly.
Oh, this goes back to my superior eyes, aside from the nearsightedness thing. But like, I was so good at magic eye. God, forget the spelling bee. Can there be like a magic eye competition, please?
You want to be the best at looking at... Never mind, I know you do. I get it. I would want that too.
I am so good at it. I can like look at it for a second and be like, that's the Mona Lisa. That's a spaceship. That's Saturn. I'd be so good at it.
You're listing the things you've seen in Magic Eye.
Yes, because I can see it so quickly because I can cross my eyes really good.
Whoa! All right.
Hey, it just looked like you opened your eyes a lot. That's all it looked like.
Okay, all right. That about does it for the emails for this week. Mike Minotti, where can people find you on the internet if they want to?
Hey, yeah, check me out on that site, Games Beat. You may have heard of it. Welcome to Imran Khan, our newest member of the staff there.
Hell yeah!
Exciting. I'm like trying to. I feel bad because I've been traveling. I'm like, I haven't. I gotta still get that train rolling a bit more. Gotta work on an introduction post and everything. But yes, welcome to.
That's just WordPress. You can just get in there and start writing stuff.
Yeah, it doesn't work anyway.
Yeah,
that's true. That's all made up nonsense. But yes, please go to GamesBeat. Be very excited to see all the stuff everyone's gonna have cooking up for us. Gonna get some in-depth stuff going on in there.
John, where can folks find you on the internet?
People can find me at Floppy Adult on my personal accounts, or go to VGBs.com, and VGBs is where you can find everything on socials.
Lovely, awesome. Lovely. Nikki, what's popping this week for you?
Nothing.
Okay.
Okay.
Wow. Grub, you got anything else you wanna plug?
When we were doing the last episode of Blake Club before we took the break, me and Dan and Mike talked beforehand that we were going to try to force Pickle Draft to animate us doing the Bluey intro, and we were going to say that we were going to try to do that. We were just going to start singing it, and so I started doing it, and we were saying stuff, and then Mike just no-sold it so hard that I think Pickle Draft's like, well, I can't use this, so it didn't end up happening. So he ruined my dream of being animated as Bluey.
I have no memory.
There's guns in this?
Actually now. Well, okay. Mike, in your defense, it's possible me and Dan talked to each other about it and never told you.
I'm beginning to think I was not a part of this conversation.
That's possible.
No, I do actually have a thing to plug. John and I have a podcast called If You're Driving, Close Your Eyes. It's a comedy show. It comes out every Friday.
Love that.
Nope. Wait, is that true? Nope, it comes out on Mondays now. We record it on Fridays. But yeah, you can find that wherever podcasts are sold. If you're driving, close your eyes.
Folks, expect a slightly odd week, not just because it's B week, but Game Mess mornings on Wednesday and Thursday. Grub is traveling on Friday, so no.
See y'all at PAX.
Game Mess mornings that week because it's also PAX week.
Oh God.
Can't wait.
You love traveling.
Can't wait to see you guys out there. I'm not going, but Dan Reichert, Mike Minotti, Jeff Grubb, Timur Hussein, and Lucy James are going to be there. We've got 2 panels. We've got a Bombcast Revengeance happening, as well as a Blight Club panel popping off.
Blight Club Live.
As well. We tried our darned best to schedule a Film in 40s for this week. We may have to compensate and do that next week as a make good. But we're digging out Wicker Man from the Giant Bomb Premium Vault, and going to put that out on the Giant Bomb Presents
the bees.
feed. Yeah,
The bees. I was like, why Wicker Man? I was like, what are you talking about?
The bees.
Shouts out to Marino for that lovely idea. We're also going to have a Bee Light Club sometime tomorrow, as well as a new season of Blight Club starting tomorrow. It's going to be Mike's turn at the wheel.
Yeah.
We're all buzzing.
Look at him.
Today.
Look at his face. He's so excited. He loves it. Yay!
Voicemail dump truck popping off this week as well, with the original driver of the truck, Ben Pack, hanging out in the dumpster. We broke him out of podcast jail. I believe Bailey also wants to be on that because her name begins with a B. So Grub, take a quick break before the long weekend.
Hell yeah, I appreciate that. I can actually pack my bags.
Yes, because I know you didn't want to do it yesterday.
Shut up, Jan. God damn it. I said it aloud and then I didn't do it. I'm like, I hope no one brings it up. Well, damn it, Jan.
Well, here I am, buddy. Also, look forward on Thursday. We are having Giant Bomb's first annual Spelling Bee
Invitational.
Yep, so cool.
Great. I believe our current competitors are Nikki Grayson, Turbo Sean. Grub, you're announcing with me.
Yep.
We're also going to get Emma Fife, but also the two main competitors, who it will really boil down to maybe in the end.
God, I hope they both lose.
No, it's because
oh, you offended Nikki.
No. Because these two got very heated at each other in front of a chocolate museum by the river as I was drinking my glass of wine, trying to say we're like, all right, so spell incongruous, I guess. And then like these two are yelling about it. Bailey Myers and Dan Record are also competing in Giant Bomb's first annual Spelling Bee. But folks, what did we learn today? We learned that John's going to get into fracking really hard. We learned that honey can kill you if you drink too much. We also learned that we might make the Milk Crate Challenge happen this Game Awards because I have no fiduciary responsibilities to Nikki. Sunglasses are apparently for babies with baby eyes. There are also pretty caves in Avowed. We also learned that there's guns in Avowed as well. Nikki Grayson might be America's worst gamer, but Fortnite is also the moped of video games. And we also learned that Mike Minotti has superior eyes compared to everyone else. And maybe, just maybe if we try hard enough, humans can fly. Folks, that about does it for this week's Giant Bombcast. I've been Jan. He's been Grub. He's been Mike. He's been John. They've been Nikki. And you at home have been absolutely beautiful. I hope you have a wonderful week. We'll see you the rest of this week for B Week. Until then, next week for another episode of the Giant Bombcast. I love you. Goodbye.
Stickers out for bees.
That's right.
Killing me won't bring back your goddamn honey.
Let me see some bees out. Put the stinger out in front. Oh, no, sorry. No, don't do that. Don't do that.
It's... Oh.